Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen at Frogbox. How are we going? Great to be with you once more. Dan, how are you, mate? That's good. Is there
Good afternoon, Lucas. Afternoon, Dave. Afternoon, Paul. Welcome to Number One Sports Ground, T20 Slogfest. Women's Plate Final between Hamwicks and Toronto. All right. So we're good?
I think that sounds all right, mate.
All right. Flick you off. This could actually nearly be, touch wood, the first time we're going to Good afternoon and welcome to Number One Sports Ground for the live streaming of the Newcastle District Cricket Association Women's T20 Plate Final between Hamilton Wickham District Cricket Club and Toronto Workers District Cricket Club. I'm Dan Saunders, joined by Lucas Holmes. We'll be bringing you live streaming here through the NDCA Frog Box. Hamilton Wickham have won the toss and will bat first. Players are all in readiness, about to enter the field of play. And a very good afternoon to Lucas Holmes.
Good afternoon, Dan. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A great day here in Newcastle West for these two women's NDCA T20 finals. Of course, as you said, Dan, this is the plate game between Hamilton, Wickham and Toronto. Looking forward to this one getting underway. And at about 6:15 this evening, it'll be the cup final between Newcastle City and Waratah Mayfield. Excuse me.
So anyone who's listening to this has got the live stream for this game. The link for the final, for the cup final between, as Lucas Holmes stated, Newcastle City and Waratah Mayfield can be found, it should be on the NDCA Facebook page. It's on the Cricket Newcastle News and Views page. And if you go to the NDCA live stream page on YouTube, the links are all there ready to go. Just a quick explanation. This is T20, 20 overs aside. Fielding restrictions are in place for the first 6 overs. Now, it's 9 players aside on the field. 9 aside, so keeper, bowler and 7 fielders. The Witches hats are out. They're about a 40-metre boundary for the ladies, or the women's T20. There is a fielding restriction circle as well. It's an absolute gorgeous afternoon here at Number One Sports Ground. If you've got the opportunity, come on down. Free entry and plenty of room on the hill, plenty of room up in the grandstands, bit of shade over there to the directionally challenged western side of the ground. It looked like we're about to get underway. Umpires making their way out to the wicket. The wicket, Lucas, I went out and had a look. It's an absolute road.
It's great to see. We've spoken about it length the last couple of times. Great to see Newcastle Number One Sports Ground back in use after a few years after being renovated, Dan. So great to have it back and being utilised as well, which was that fascinating country championships final a few weeks ago now, where Newcastle were victorious. What's that, 4 in a row now for the association, which is great. So great to see high quality cricket and some women's T20 finals here this afternoon as well.
Yeah, no, that run chase was sensational. Newcastle chased 280. I think we got up to about 13 or 14 and over at some point.
And Adrian Chad just went whack.
Adrian Chad he dined out on some Central Coast bowling, and yeah, as you said, 4 consecutive wins in that tournament.
Yeah. And it was Cal Ranger who did the damage for Central Coast as well. Another multi-sport athlete, plays Australian rules as well. And there's a number of multi-sport athletes out here for both of these, all 4 sides this afternoon.
So fielders are just getting set. We're just confirming who the actual 2 bats women are. Looks like it's the Knight sisters, I'm going to guess. Kira and Laura. It looks like it'll be Kira taking strike. So the batting from the northern end here of Number One Sports Ground, or the Market Town end as we'll refer to it for those who are a bit like me, directionally challenged, or the southern end where we're commentating from, or the Merriweather end. So Osborne will be taking the new ball. Crystal Osborne for Toronto. Just on 4 o'clock. This game's going to commence on time. Couldn't ask for better conditions for any brand of cricket, let alone midweek T20. This is the plate final between Hamilton Wickham and Toronto. Hamilton Wickham won the toss, elected to bat first. Kira Knight is on strike. Crystal Osborne will be bowling the first ball of this plate final. Umpires just checking with the scorers that they're already. The light's on. And we are underway here at Number One Sports Ground. Nice ball out to an off stump there. The pink ball, of course. Completely forgot about the pink ball till I just saw it. And it's going to come up good later on tonight when the lights are on, Lucas.
The sure will. There was a short cover there, catching on the offside, mid-off. Backward point / gully there. No slips in place. Osborne in again, full of length, outside the off stump. That will have to be rebowled, however. First runs are away for Hamwicks. And on the leg side, short fine leg, short mid-wicket on the cut wicket square, a square leg and a mid-on.
So just for our viewers as well, maximum of 8 balls and over. I had a chat with the umpires before play, just before the toss. Great ball there. On back to a fuller ball there, and really found the outside edge. Well bowled there by Osborne. Lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Eight ball overs. So yeah, in the event of there being some wides or no balls, only a maximum of 2 will be re-bowled, and free hits are only for front foot no balls, not full tosses or ball bouncing twice. So we'll just need to be mindful of that. Should that occur, front foot no balls only, we'll institute a free hit for the batting team.
Beautiful. So all covered there, and everything crossed. Rain will not intervene. Osborne, full of length, and well played too, to the mid-off. No runs off the bat as yet, as Osborne gets into a work here at the northern end. He's bowling right arm over the wicket. Back of a length.
Oh, well bowled. That was a great delivery.
Sure
I think
was.
that's done either a bit off the wicket or it swung late, because it really squared Kira Knipe up there. We've got the benefit of our live stream just being about a ball behind, so we get to watch a replay. That was just as exciting to watch second time round, Lucas.
Sure was. Osborne in again. Full outside the off stump. She's lived there, and that's a decent first over for Toronto. And after 1 over, Hamwicks a none for 1.
Just also for our viewers, they play 10 overs per end in this brand of cricket as well, just to accelerate the game, just to kill a lot of time in between overs. So they'll bowl 10 consecutive overs from this southern end, or the Merriweather end of number 1 sports ground, and then overs 11 to 20 they'll bowl from the northern end or Market Town end. So the innings will go for around an hour, maybe an hour 10 minutes. I don't think we'll have any lost balls. There's no swamps or rivers or creeks for the ball to go into. So it should be steadfast. The batters have crossed, so Laura Knipe will be on strike, and it looks like, looking for a first name here, Emma Ray Chatterai. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. But her first ball there.
Yeah, she'll be one to watch throughout the afternoon too, Dan, and ladies and gentlemen, a lot of damage with the willow in hand as well.
First runs off the bat for the afternoon. Knipe just playing that around backward of square for a single.
Yeah, Ray Chiduri there, straying a little bit of line. Only his second ball, and picked off to the fielder at short fine. In she comes again, right arm over. Back of a length, tried to force it, well kept behind the stumps there. And it's a dot ball. So again, for this field, for Ray Chaduri, short mid-wicket, fine leg, square leg. It's a deep square leg in this scenario. Mid-on, mid-off, short cover, and a gully. Ray Chaduri in again, full. Forced through the gap there, and that'll run away on this carpet-like surface here at Newcastle number 1. And that's the first boundary of the afternoon.
Lovely late cut there by Kira Knipe. And yeah, regardless of the cricket, it's a very fast outfield here at number 1 sports ground. That's gone all the way to the actual fence. Just got to beat the field here, and it's going to be 4 runs. And be interesting to see the tactics by the skipper here for Toronto in the field. They do need to have all bar 2 fielders inside the circle, which is basically halfway to where those hats are. It's very hard to pick up some yellow dots going around as the fielding restriction ring. We'll see how Emma comes back now. Bowling to Kira Knipe, who's 4 off 9 deliveries now. The total 6 without loss, with 1 ball remaining in this second over. This is the T20 Women's Plate Final between Hamilton Wickham and Toronto Workers District Cricket Clubs. Dan Saunders, Lucas Holmes bringing you live streaming, live commentary of this T20 final. Final ball of the second over. It's a full toss. It hit in the air, but got away with it, and it's going to go for 4 as well. 2 boundaries in the over for Kira Knipe. 9 runs from the over. And a good over that for Hamilton Wickham. The conclusion of the second over, Hamilton Wickham, after winning the toss and electing to bat, no wicket for 10.
And that's only really been the first bad ball bowled this afternoon. Rachel Dury just straight in, length went too full and just knocked away through the offside field there by Kira Knipe, and taking full advantage with this pristine outfield here.
Yeah, look, there's really no reason to have to hit the ball in the air. It's a lightning outfield here. So Crystal Osborne, she's bowling a second over. Great running there. Laura's just played that to square leg. 3 fielders homed in on that, but they were able to scurry through for a quick single.
Should be quite a handful, Osborne, if she can pitch this ball up. Had a little bit of carry and bounce off the surface, just back of a length though. See if she can pitch the ball up, allow it to swing as it will early in these first 4 or 5 overs.
Shot a very impressive first over, just that one wide. Apart from that, 6 dot balls. It's a very handy looking cricketer, Crystal Osborne. Osborne in again, bowling to Kira Knight. Down the leg side. Umpires being very generous with the wide rule, which is great. Last thing you want to see is the girls getting cruelled, trying to do their best. But I don't think we'll see too many going down the leg side from Crystal Osborne. She looks quite the handy bowler. Put that away fine. A half shout.
Well, should be leg bias, and is. Again there from Osborne, nice and full. Really, when you're bowling full in T20 cricket, into middle and legs, the line that you're looking for, and maybe straight a little bit more to the leg side, but just the one leg by there.
And it brings all the modes of dismissal into play. It's very important in a short form game. Defended away on the offside, that was Laura Knipe.
Yes, you can look to stem the run flow, Dan, but of course the best way to stem run flow is to take wickets.
Red ink, that's right.
So we'll see how they go about it here. Osborne's been solid early.
It's funny, Lucas, only 9 fielders or 9 players on the field, but it seems to be, it's like what a game of test match. It's like this play, like the board game.
Yep.
Just seems to be a lot of cricketers around the bat, and just because the field's just that bit smaller than what we're used to. But a very good over again there by Crystal Osborne. Only the 2 runs from it, one of them being a leg by, one off the bat. And after 3 overs, Hamwicks are none for 12 midway through this power play, the first 6 overs. And you've got to think after 6 overs, anyone not in the ring's got to be on that fence.
Yeah. Yeah. All about your catches are going to be in tight, and then your fielders outside the ring have to be right on the fence, because as we spoke about, Red Jury comes back in full outside the leg stump. Dot ball, as we saw in those 2 occasions in the previous over, Dan. Anything through the ring will race away for 4.
Yeah, it's a big thing in this brand of cricket. You want to stem the flow of boundaries as much as possible. Make the batting team work for their runs. The umpire's ready to call wide there. Ray Charteroy. Interesting, the ones they're calling and not calling. It didn't seem to be too much different to some of the other previous deliveries, but it's been called, so that ball will need to be re-bowled. Takes the total along to 13 without loss.
And changing the field as well. Short cover into a really short cover point at the moment. Ray Jaduri back with the radar, full and straight. Just bunted down the ground there by Laura Knight for no run.
It's difficult to try and know what a defendable total is going to be here. It's lightning fast. They can keep wickets intact. Opportunity to accelerate the runs later on will be there. Some cutaway off the stumps there by Laura Knight, just taking the single. Only the 1 run there.
You would think, especially with the outfield, you think anything above that sort of 120, above a run of ball, would be extremely defendable, you would think. But being such a large ground, even though it's roped in, it'll be hard to defend in the field in the second innings.
Yeah, very much so, and especially being a final and scoreboard pressure, it is a thing. Runs on, shorter ball there. Been hit away through the covers, that'll run away for 4. Kira Knight with the third boundary, and she's doing it all by fours. She's not interested in knocking it around. It's either four or dot at present for Kira Knight. Takes her along to 12 from 15, and the total along to 19 without loss midway through this fourth over. Nice shot there. It's pitched a bit short. I didn't quite get up. A nice stroke there through the covers, because short cover in play. Once that fielder was beaten, that was always going to be four.
As you'd expect, anything short's going to really sit up and beg to be punished, and exactly was. Bat on ball through the cover region. And we'll see how she can back up. Full again on that leg stump line. Bunted back to the bowler. With one ball remaining in Ray Chiduri's second over. Down the leg side, that one will have to be rebowled. Wide ball called by the umpire.
So that was the seventh ball of the over. So this will be the last ball, regardless of whether it's another sundry or not. Kira Knight, 12 from 16 on strike. Full of ball. Ooh, French cut.
Indeed, it was inside edge down to the fine leg
fielder.
fielder.
They're taking it too. It's good running there by the Knight girls.
Off the fielder's foot by the looks of it. Went to bend over to pick it up and kicked it away.
Unfortunate there for Toronto, but a bit of luck there for Hamwicks at the end of the fourth over. No wicket for 22. Kira Knight from 14 from 17. Sister Laura 3 from 7. And Ray Chowderai after 2 overs. No wicket for 19.
Of course,
Still 2 overs remaining in the power play. First 6 overs. Only a maximum of 2 fielders can be outside the ring. And to be honest, Lucas, I don't think there's anyone outside the ring. I think they're all inside the ring.
Yeah, potentially the square leg, but just as we say that, she's... wow. As the square leg, 3/4 of the way back to the fence.
So we've got a change of bowler here to bowl the 5th over. We're just waiting confirmation on who that is. A fuller ball there, and the leg side's been picked up by Knight, and she's smacked that away to the boundary. The bowler is Kerry Seymour, and just a loosener there has been punished. That's actually Laura Knight on strike. That's her first boundary, and takes her along to 7, score along to 26.
So yeah, the square leg now is more or less right back on the fence, Dan. And the fine leg seems to be right on the ring as well.
Yeah, I think that's good fielding placements there, especially if, I mean, you would hope that first ball was just a looser, and she looks got a better line there this time.
A little bit slingy. If she had to full up, maybe a little bit hard to pick up as well. So see how Seymour can work into her first over here.
That was the 4th boundary of the power play thus far. 3-2 Kira Knight, and Laura Knight scoring her first boundary. Fuller ball down the leg side. Umpires allow that to go through to the keeper, literally. Gorgeous afternoon here at number 1 Sports Ground. I know we'll keep saying that, but it's only because it is. There's no wind. It's pleasant, it's warm, but it's not boiling hot. Great conditions to come down and be a spectator. Coming down and support the women's cricket here in the Newcastle District Cricket Association. Well, there's 11 teams in the women's competition this year.
Across 2 divisions,
Across
which
2
is
divisions,
great to see,
4,
yes.
4 in the Cup division and 14, was it? My apologies. Well, that's excellent. That's a massive increase from previous seasons.
Sure is. Seymour again, right arm over the wicket, full into the middle of the leg and dug out there by Kira Knight. It was good running the previous ball as well, just dropped into a short third area, Dan, and then quickly scurried away for a single. Seymour's bounced back well after an errant first delivery. She comes again, right arm over, back into the pitch. And it's short and wide and called as such by the umpire. So Seymour will have to re-bowl another delivery.
Yeah, there were 10 teams in this plate division. Toronto actually finished on top of the ladder on quotient on 22 points with Hamwicks, who they're facing today, and Belmont, the Belmont Whips, who finished third on a quotient of 1.5, but actually had an extra win. That's interesting. They must have got on in a game when others may have been washed out. Stockton, who were their first timers this year, finished fourth on 20 points. Actually had a 5-run loss in their semi-final last week against Toronto, so very unlucky.
The big inclusion there of Gemma Ashley at Stockton this year as well.
Big game, wicket 10 runs. She was a one-person wrecking crew on that semi-final.
A superb athlete. Gemma Ashley plays Australian rules for Nelson Bay as well, so represented indigenous cricket as well. So very well-rounded athlete is Gemma Ashley, but it's Toronto who defeated Stockton in Northern Districts last week, and it's Hamwicks with almost another boundary.
So Kylie Clark is the new bowler. So that's just 2.
Sure is, to Laura Knight, building her innings nicely after not seeing much of the strike in the early portion of the power play.
So Knight 10 from 12, Laura Knight that is. Nice pull shot there. Great diving effort out there at forward square leg. I think she's definitely saved 4. They've run 2. So saved 2 runs. It would have been a fantastic catch. It was like Superman there.
And would have, but you look at that one, saved the 2 runs.
Definitely. Yeah, that would have been an absolute screamer if she managed to hold on to that. But 2 more onto the total. Laura Knight along to 12 now. Nearly going at a run of ball. Faced 13 deliveries. No wicket for 32. There's full bunger there. That's been hit down the ground. That's going to go all the way to the fence for 4 as well. Just can't afford to bowl there in these power plays. We can't really afford to bowl there at any time, but especially with the field all up, that Laura Knight's shown that those loose balls, she can put them away. It takes her along to 16 now from 14 deliveries. She's overtaken Kira, who's 14 from 19, and midway through the 6th and final over, they've called no ball on that, so it'll have to be re-bowled as well. As we said, there's only 3 hits for front foot no balls in the women's competition.
So again, dropped into that 3rd man region, and for that quick single running between the wickets, extremely important in this short form contest.
I'll have to call that 3rd person.
Third person, yes.
Nice stroke. That's probably the shot of the afternoon thus far. That's going to literally go all the way to the fence.
Bludgeoned through cover
Look
point
at that
there.
again. Kieran Knipe said, thank you very much. What a great over this has been for Hamwicks thus far. 15 from. With only 3 legal balls have been delivered thus far. That was a great shot. She smashed that through the covers. And this field could be another 20, 30 metres. It was still going to the fence.
Well, let's see how they can gain some composure here, Toronto. That's better. That's full and straight. All that Kieran Knight could do is tap it back to Clark in her follow through. And we can see now the long on's gone back 3/4 of the way to the fence. Clark outside the leg stump. Illegal delivery.
Ooh, I was going to say the wings started to come out. They just got put away. I guess can't be re-bowled. So it must be hard for the umpire where they're going to decide, because that's still a run.
Yeah.
And again, in finals, runs are just gold. Another nice shot there. 4 more. That's gone forward a point.
That's going to the fence.
Second that's gotten past the field, it just raced away. Kira Knipe. Sister caught up to her. She said, no, I'm going to skip ahead. Kira Knipe on to 22 from 23 deliveries. Laura Knipe 17 from 15 at the end of 6 overs and the end of the fielding restriction power play. Hamwicks, no wicket, very important, no wickets lost, are 47. They're going at a run shy of 8 runs and over. And Lucas Holmes, I would suggest that's just about the perfect start.
It is no wickets.
In a T20 match, let alone a T20 final.
It is no wickets down inside the power play. Kira Knipe going at 22 runs off 23 deliveries. Laura Knipe 17 off 15. And of those 22 runs for Kira Knipe, 20 have come in boundaries.
Yeah, look, as they say, work smarter, not harder. If they're there to hit them, and they've all been along the ground too. Apart from that one drop catch there at forward mid wicket, which was a tough chance. Okay, so Kerry Seymour bowling her second over. First over went for 6. Got the Renner crowd here. I think their feelings well known. Kerry Seymour will bowl her first legal ball of the over. Straightened up there. It's just gone to mid wicket. Well fielded. No run.
Could Chris Dixon come to the score, please? Chris Dixon.
Sounds like we're down at the local bowling club. Selling meat raffle tickets. 5 numbers for $1. Show your membership card, you get an extra 5 tickets. Seymour in tonight.
You were talking about ham raffles earlier on, Dan. They're not happening here, I wouldn't have thought.
No. It's great that we have Grant announcing at number 1 sports ground this afternoon and using the microphone for all of its benefits. I think there's a lost child too. Seymour coming into bowl now. Laura Knipe on strike. Full of ball down the leg side. No bat on that. And the hands have stayed in the pockets. Score remains no wicket for 49. I think that was actually Kira Knipe on strike. I do apologise. I think if I just say Knipe, we'll be right for now. So Kira on strike facing Kerry Seymour bowling from Merryweather End here at number 1 sports ground.
So for this first over outside the power play, Dan, deep square leg is in effect. Long ons right on the ring. Short mid wicket, fine leg.
They've got to have a sweep on this offside to stem some of the runs. You want to encourage your bowlers to bowl there on off stump, but there we go. Hasn't quite gotten to the fence. But they've run 2 and we thought about 3. But I think now that they can have a maximum, I believe, of 5 out, a lot of runs have gone through that offside. You want your bowlers bowling on off stump. You don't want them bowling down the leg side, but you've got to give them that protection. I think a sweeper out there, I think on the cover boundary, even a cover point, even 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock square of the wicket, could really stem some runs.
Well fielded there at short cover.
Great piece of fielding there.
And that too, Dan, if you have that deep cover, anywhere from a deep extra cover to a deep point, that too there is most likely only going to be a 1, although you could probably take 1 on the arm.
Quite possibly.
Outfield as well.
And it also brings into play a possible run-out opportunity if they want to take on the arm, depending on the strength of the throw. But I just think if you've got that opportunity, you don't want to be too defensive. They still need to take wickets. The best way to stem run flow is wickets. But I think their bowlers could really use that assistance, especially these girls. They're both set. Laura Knipe 18 from 17. Kira Knipe 24 from 27. They've got 7 boundaries between them. No wicket for 51 from 7.
And their running between wickets has been exemplary. It's been superb so far. They just knocked it into that little bit of a gap between the short mid wicket and the deep square, and it was 1 straight away.
So I'm guessing Kylie Clark bowling again, the start of her second over. We're just waiting on the live scoring to update. It is Kylie Clark. And she's bowling to Knipe. Ooh. Oh, that's a full toss. And that's got the full treatment. Smack down a back, well, fine leg for 4. And yeah, Clark just not quite finding a length, unfortunately, but Kira Knipe, she was all over that like, well, the proverbial.
I've seen them like
Just
beach balls really
what
at the moment.
time it is. It's still before 8:30. Yeah, and if you're tossing them up there too, that's asking to be hit. And yeah, Kira Knight was happy to accommodate. She's going to run a ball 28. That's her 6th boundary in this partnership. 57. We talked earlier, said, but anything over 120 would be a very defendable total, unless there's an awful collapse. I think 120 is in the rearview mirror now. I think maybe 140 could be a total that Hamwicks will be looking at.
Well played. Not on the front foot. Well bowled too, though.
Question without notice, Lucas Holmes.
Yep.
I haven't looked. I know you've done your research. These two teams would have played each other at some point. Do we know how they went?
I do have.
Apologies if
I do have that
on
on
the hop.
That's fine. Round 5, Dan, after this delivery, is
Well
knocked through
fielded.
the offside.
Yeah, she got a hand on that there at short cover. She's really having a good game in there. Sort of a lamb to the slaughter with some of the balls getting hit through there, but she saved 4 there. They've run 2, but if she hadn't got a hand, it would have been 4 all day. But again, if she's back, it's 1.
Yeah. Again, I'll get to that at the end of the over when we have a little bit more time, but I do have that in front of me. Clark in, full, middle on the leg, bunted down the ground.
Well run. That's gone straight to the fielder there at mid-off. The second she hit that, she knew there was a single, and she took straight off. Good loud call. And Knipe along the 31 off 31 deliveries. Laura Knipe, 19 from 18. The total, 60. Midway through this 8th over, Clark. Oh, what a great shot that is. Is that going to go the way? No. You'd be happy with that little roll off a 9-iron. Full toss there. It's been hit out to mid-wicket, but once it hit, it just sort of rolled a couple of metres and stopped. 2 more to the total. Laura Knipe goes to 21. Hamwicks along to 63. I believe this will be the last ball of this 8th over. Clark bowling. Just an old-fashioned swipe down the ground for a ball outside off stump. Single taken by Laura Knipe. End of the 8th over. Hamwicks. No wicket for 64. Going at 8 runs and over, Lucas Holmes.
And it was Toronto, Dan and ladies and gentlemen, in round 5 of this plate competition that were victorious. Toronto 2 for 60, chased down Hamwicks 7 for 58. Kira Knipe did the damage for Hamwicks, and on that occasion she was 21 off 28. Emma Ray Chiduri was 3 for 11 off 3 overs with a maiden. And Kerry Seymour took 2 for 7 off 2.1. And in Toronto's innings, Crystal Osborne 27 not out off 33. And Emma Ray Chiduri an all-round performance 22 off 19. With Kira Knipe taking 1 for 5 off 2 overs.
Okay, so Callan will be Rebecca Callan, or Beck as we've got here. I just couldn't see the first name. So Beck Callan. No, it's not Beck Callan. It's actually Kelly Jolly. There's the delivery outside off stump there to Laura Knipe, just beat the outside edge dot ball. Jolly bowling to Knipe. Well kept. You know who the keeper is? Very handy keeper. Shown a good set of hands thus far in this game.
Keeping out to the stumps is not an easy task, is it?
No.
And Jolly's bowling with some decent pace as well, even though she's coming off 2 or 3 steps.
I'm just wondering if she's just going to try and watch her hand from me. Eyes are failing me in my old age, but see, she's trying to put any tweak on it, whether she's just hitting the wicket. Well kept again. Umpires let that one go. 1 run and 1 wide from the over thus far. Jolly bowling this 9th over. The Toronto bowling innings, and edge there. That'll run away for 4 surely. There's a chase there by the lady from point, but she's not going to get there. That's going to go away to the fence, actually. This field's ridiculously fast.
It is.
That wasn't a bad delivery there by Kelly Jolly, but Laura Knipe, she's had a go at it. She's got an educated edge, a good thick edge on it, but if you're going to go, you've got to go. And again, that's travelled, what's that, probably a 75-metre boundary down there?
It runs away slightly towards that market town end of the ground, but just slopes away with the drainage here too, which is good to see. But that thick edge and run away lightning quick. See Jolly here too, having a look early. Even though she's got a shorter front arm, as it were, in the bowling action, still get quite some decent purchase in terms of pace. It's up there outside the leg stump, and that
Wide call.
will be re-bowled as well next
But well
run.
kept. I've seen lots of people, them go for 4 byes or 4 wides. She's getting at least something on them each time, which is great. Total along to 70. But most importantly for Hamwicks, 0 wickets down. Full of ball there by Jolly. Well kept once again. Jolly with 5th legal delivery. Well kept again. Wide called. Of course, the commentator's curse. It will again have only been the 4th legal delivery. So 2 wides to re-bowl in this over.
having a discussion here with skipper as well. So let's see what they can do here. Toronto, they really need some wickets to fall.
Just not sure where they're going to come from at present. The Night girls are just looking in control, and very, very good temperament too. They're not throwing their wickets away. That ball's beaten the short cover. It's going to take a good chase to pull that up. It's just getting away, and it's gone for 4 as well. That was a fantastic chase there by the girl at short cover. But like the greyhound chasing the hare at the racetrack, it just kept getting away. 4 more runs again along the ground. Kira Knipe along the 35 from 32 deliveries. The first ball of this 10th over. No wicket for 75. We have a 7th bowler being used. This is Emily Dixon.
Second ball's gone for 4 behind, backward square. It's helped around the corner. And they're getting on with this in a hurry, Hamwicks, at the moment. None for 79 in the 10th over.
That's Kira Knipe's 8th boundary, 39 from 33 deliveries. But most important, as we keep saying, they're doing it along the carpet. Mad if you don't. Under edge onto that to fine leg, just a single.
No real risk, sorry Dan. Just that bunt down the ground early off that full toss. But other than that, they've all been good cricket shots too.
Yeah, very much so. I've been very impressed with some of the cover driving and the shots through the offside, the cuts, the drives. It's great to watch. The girls have been well coached. Oh, nice pull shot there. That's going to literally go all the way to the square leg fence as well here at number 1 Sports Ground. Whatever Kira Knipe can do, Laura's saying I can do just as well. That takes her along to 30 from only 25 deliveries. That's her 4th boundary. This is a big over again for Hamwicks, 13 from thus far. Dixon just not quite finding her line, and the girls' Knipe, if it's there, they're putting it away. They really haven't not cashed in on just about any of the loose deliveries thus far. And what a platform they've set up for Hamwicks in this plate final. Square leg out on the fence, 1 bounce. I think she needs to stay there for the duration of the innings. I'd really like to see someone on this offside sweeping. If not at cover, maybe a bit square, like a cover point.
Yeah.
Dixon again. Ball just punched there to short cover, no run. That's the end of Dixon's first over. 14 from. And that's 10 overs gone. Hamwicks, after winning the toss, selecting the bat first. I think the right decision. No wicket for 85. Laura Knipe is 31 from 26 deliveries. Kira Knipe is 40 from 35. 10 overs completed. They will now switch ends for the second 10 overs. So the first 10 overs were bowled from the Merriweather end, or southern end here of number 1 Sports Ground. So now the northern end will be where the bowling will take place from, our Market Town end. And so we get a different perspective of the game now. We're sitting behind the play.
Really fine, deep fine leg really is where we're situated.
We're exactly on the angle that you can see on your vision at home or wherever you're watching this live Frogbox streaming. Lucas Holmes joining me, Dan Saunders, here at number 1 Sports Ground, streaming the Newcastle District Cricket Association Women's T20 Plate Final. Hamilton Wickham versus Toronto Workers District Cricket Clubs. Hamwicks won the toss, selected to bat first. As you can see, a wise decision. No wicket for 85 from the first 10 overs. Kelly Jolly bowling her second over. Her first over went for 7, and in comparison, pretty a tidy over in the complex of the game thus far, Lucas.
And 7 runs and over in T20 cricket is not that bad at all, really.
You'd take it. So that ball's down the leg side. Fine leg just on the ring. Short fine legs cut that off for 1. So, Lucas, if you could let our viewers know what field we are playing with at present.
We've got a fine leg right on the ring. A deep backward square, short mid-wicket. Long one seems to be 2/3 of the way to the fence. We've got a mid-off, a cover on the cut square, and we've got a short third for the right-handed Kira Knipe.
That's the first bye of the innings. Or is he calling wide? Must have got something on that.
Must have got bat. I thought it might have been buys as well, but
Well, keeper will be happy with it. She hasn't got a score sheet, Tanya. So just going by, we've had 7 bowlers. I think Kylie Taylor hasn't bowled, or Morgan Feely.
might be Megan the way it's spelt there, Dan, I don't believe.
Is it Megan or Morgan? I don't know, yeah. I do apologise. Just we got it handwritten. Let's get the light up. It is Megan. I do apologise. She'd have to be related to Daniel Feely. Like I grew up playing cricket with, a Toronto boy. He was a very handy cricketer.
That's a great shot. Straight in line again, middle and leg, and helped on its way there by Laura Knipe as it smashes into the fence
Yeah,
beneath us here.
Laura Knipe along to 36 now from 30. And first of all, loose ball that Jolly's bowled this over, but it got punished, and his Knipe Girls 91 run partnership looking very ominous. Neither of them look like getting out.
Really been troubled at all, really. Jolly back of a length, whipped through the offside now. There'll be at least 2 if it can be cut off.
It's a great chase.
Inside the boundary, it was 2. Decent throw in from on hands and knees, and kept it to 2 runs. Yeah, that sweeper on the offside, Dan, something you've said so far through this batting innings here for Hamwicks is something I think they need to utilise sooner rather than later. There's way too many runs, just those are easy singles, but when they've thrashed it through the offside, it's really, they've taken advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit up here and make comment, but you know, played the game for far more the years I'd like to admit. There are things you can do as a fielding team that are in your control. And I just think, I mean, we've got backward square on the fence, we've got fine legs outside the ring, so we've got 2 here. So that's encouraging your bowler to bowl leg stump, which in this brand of cricket, you don't want to do. You want to bowl full at the stumps or full at off stump, if not outside off stump. That ball's beaten cover. Again, that fielder, if it was out there, that's 4 runs, that's going to race away. Midoff hasn't quite been able to get there to cut that off. Where a sweeper out there, it will be 1 run. Yeah, give him a single. You won't win T20 games just taking singles.
Or even 2, considering the size of the ground. You take 2s, really.
Take 2, but again, they've got to take on the arm too. So it could open up an opportunity. But for every 4 that becomes 2 or 1, you're halving the 75%ing the runs away. So then the batting team have got to look to take risks and try and manipulate shots in areas where there aren't fielders, which in turn elevates the risk of taking a wicket or losing your wicket. At present, neither of the Knipe girls to me look like they're in any trouble, and the field is just asking from the score runs. Well kept there again. So there's 7 fielders, right, with the keeper of the bowler, only 9 aside. There's 4 on the leg side, 2 of them are behind square leg. There's a short cover, a mid-off, which is probably on the ring, and a gully, deep gully. We got away with that one. But there's not one fielder on the offside giving this bowler any protection. And, I mean, Dixon, I'm sure, would like to be bowling it off stump. But where's the incentive? Where's the encouragement to bowl?
When you've got 2 fielders behind square, and your miss is going to be short. And your miss as a bowler, as you said there, Dan, that's well bowlers, and your miss as a bowler is going to be short. So and then there's no one in front really of the deep square to get to long on as well, so they can work it through there. As
just chase that, that'll be a no ball. Been a good over from Dixon up until that point, only the boundary off the first ball, 4 consecutive dots. That one again, she's trying to push it away from the batsman, but she's got no cover, and it's. If I was Emily Dixon, I'd be saying, Skip, I want another one on the offside, and I need someone to cover that boundary. Well bowled there. Good comeback there by Dixon. I think under the circumstances, she's bowled very well. Only gone for 5 from that over. A good comeback from the first over that went through, I think, 14. So 12 overs have gone now. Hamwicks are no wicket for 98. Kira Knight, 45 not out from 43 deliveries. She's hit 9 boundaries. Laura Knipe ably supporting 38 not out from 31. She's hit 5 boundaries. Lucas Holmes, 8 overs. They're going at 8 and over, a bit over an 8 and over. If they keep at this rate, we're looking at about 160, which that's a fantastic total and could be very tough to chase.
And with wickets in hand too, as we speak about so often in these short form game. Short outside the leg stump. Kept again. This will have to be rebowled. 1 run added to the total.
So is this Kelly Jolly again? It is. So her first 2 overs have gone for 15.
So Jolly, right arm over. Full. Just bunted. A little bit of indecision.
That is the riskiest single I think I've seen this season from anyone. She's basically hit that straight back to the bowler. She's taken her on, a big dive, and I mean that's great running. That's fantastic running, and that brings up the 100 partnership. 100 partnership in 73 deliveries. Well batted to the Knight sisters, Laura and Kira. They are sisters, aren't they?
We'll see what they can do here.
100 without loss. That's a fantastic opening partnership. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Especially in the short form. You often see 2 to 3 wickets. 4 in the batting power play to start as Jolly drops one short down the leg side. That one straight to the deep backward square sweeper. Look to take on the arm. There's that slight indecision as we've spoken about with the sweeper.
Well, the thing is now they're none down in the 13th over. They can afford to take as many risks as they want, but they don't want to undo all the good work they've done. The last thing Hamwicks want to do now is lose 2 or 3 quick wickets and really stunt that run scoring. Nice shot down the ground. It's beaten the short cover. Mid-off will run around. They're going to come back for 2. Let's end up an easy 2. Kira Knipe on to 48 now from 45 deliveries.
And there's one overthrow as well there. It was tight in the end. Yeah.
Make that 49 from 45 deliveries. I think that's the first 3 of the match.
Sure was 2 there. It was great running there by Laura Knipe to the non-striker's end. Took on the arm and got home comfortably and forced the error and the overthrow. See how Jolly can recover. That will be a no ball and will need to be rebowled. Again, a reminder that the only no balls that will result in free hits are front foot no balls, overstepping the popping crease there. Only reason for no balls to be rebowled. Jolly in again, a drag down, work through the offside, past the short cover. There's 2 for sure. That's if it doesn't get to the boundary, which it...
Oh, great diving effort there.
Doesn't. Well fielded in the deep cover point boundary.
It's taken 3. Fielder's not signalling, so 3 runs. So she saved 1 there. Great effort. But again, a fielder out there. Yeah, just a single. Laura Knipe along to 43 now from 35 deliveries. And Kira Knipe on strike. She'll be looking to bring up a half century. And if they take it, that should be it. I'm pretty confident that was, well, it's a no ball, but it's off the bat. I believe that is Kira Knipe's half century. It's along to 50. 45 deliveries, 9 boundaries. We're just waiting for the score to update.
Should be 2 off that last delivery, so it should be...
Should be 111 off 13, but we'll just wait for that. Because that no ball won't be re-bowled because there have been 2 previous sundries in the over.
So as we all sit up here with 1 leg off the ground, we'll wait for this ball to be bowled.
Toilet seats up?
Yeah.
What's that, the mulligan, is that what they call it, 111?
No, that's...
Or that 87?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll just say Knipe, that did take Knipe to 50. 111 is the score after 13 overs. Jolly's 3 overs have gone for 28. And I think this is Kylie Clark. Again, we're just waiting for our live scoring to update. But after 13 overs, Hamwicks, no wicket down for 111. Okay, I do apologise. It's not Dixon. Oh, sorry, it's Emily Dixon bowling. It's not Clark. Emily Dixon's first 2 overs, no wicket for 20.
That's 51 for Kira Knight.
Kira Knight's 51. Great knock there, Kira Knight. 51 thus far from 47 deliveries, 9 boundaries, going at a strike rate of 108.51.
Wrong with that, having
Sister Laura on strike, 43 from 35 with 5 boundaries, strike rate of 122.85. It's well kept too. Here's a woman trying to whack that ball straight at her, and she's still got in the way of it.
Don't need any more Ian Healy type incidents.
No, God no.
For those wondering with scenario, the batter went to sort of half sweep and pull and knocked Ian Healy with the bat a long time ago now. This is dropped into short cover. That's extremely well run. Laura Knight.
Talk about a great way of rotating the strike there. And I mean, that ended up an easy single, but that risk they didn't really need to take from where they're at. But that just shows their understanding they've got between the wickets. That ball's been hit backward. Very fine leg. They've taken one. They'll come back for 2 on the arm. Nice stroke there by Kira Knight. Well ran.
Yeah, talking about Laura Knight, though, hasn't taken her. She's 44 off 36, Dan, but it's just that running between the wickets, turning those ones into twos, those twos into threes, where she's really got ahead of the runner ball there.
That's right. Well, yeah, she's only hit 5 boundaries, so she's done a lot of running. They've hit that well, and that split the 2 fielders on the fence. There's a fine leg and a backward square on the fence, and neither of them looked like saving that. Kira Knight has absolutely smoked that. That's gone all the way to the fence here at number 1 Sports Ground. And these girls are in ominous touch. No wicket for 121. Kira Knight along to 57 now from 49 deliveries. Dixon, 29 runs from 2.4 overs. How will she come back? Knight's hit that straight to fine leg along the ground. Oh, and a misfield. Gone straight through the Harbour Bridge, I think they call it. And another boundary there has gone to the fine leg fence. Kira Knight along into the 60s. Hamwicks, no wicket for 125 in this plate final.
So Kira Knight, she's 61 off 50, and Laura Knight 44 off 36. So going along very, very nicely. And there's that 125 already we were talking about earlier, Dan.
Well, they keep going at this rate. They're looking at 180 now, which is, that's a huge effort in a T20 fixture. I don't know if she got bad on that. That's beaten the keeper down the leg side. They've run 2. Will they come back on the arm? Looking for it. So it's 2 runs. So she's got a feather on that. Kira Knight along to 63. No wicket for 127. And that should be the end of over 14. 127 without loss. That's an amazing opening run partnership, and it doesn't. There's no end in sight at present. 9.07 and over.
You see high T20 opening partnerships, you often see them get into the 70s or the 80s, sort of the upper echelon of first wicket partnerships. But it's been a superb performance here by Laura and Kira Knight so far.
Plenty of bat on that. Full toss down the leg side, and that's gone for 4 as well. So Kerry Seymour back into the attack. Her first 2 overs only went for 10. She was very economical inside those first 10 overs, but Laura Knight's been given a gift there. Full toss on leg stump, and she smacked that to the boundary down here at a very fine leg. And it takes her along, Lucas, to 48 from 37 deliveries, and she'll be eyeing off to match her sister's half century here, well, the next ball or 2.
She will indeed. Deep fine again, deep backward square, short mid wicket, mid on, mid off. That short cover there in the box as we term it here, and a short third. That's on the ring. In again, Seymour, back of a length, dropped into the offside. It's still on the pitch, and they've still taken one.
Wow!
Has dropped it a third of the way down the pitch and made the wicket keeper do the fielding. That's another easy run there for Laura Knight. That's the highlight of her afternoon, her innings. They're running between the wickets, especially for her, has been superb.
Oh, superb's the perfect word, Lucas. It's just been smart. It's been consistent, and they've obviously got a very good understanding. They've obviously spent a lot of time at the wicket together, which probably from their time in the backyard would be understandable. I'd love to know how many 133 plus run partnerships they've had together. This is something special that we're watching. It's great that they've got this to look back on.
You wouldn't think many.
I don't know, the way they've been going, I reckon there could be a few.
Yeah.
Seymour tonight. Just push that there to that short cover. Still persisting with short cover. The 15th over here. No wicket for 133. Kira Knight 63. Laura Knight 49. Fine leg on the fence. Backward square on the fence. Long on just inside the fence. Straight to short cover. Got a touch on it. So it won't go for 4. Mid-offs run around to field that. Another 2 more runs onto the total for Hamwicks. 135 without loss. Kira Knight along to 65. 53 deliveries.
So Seymour can do full of length.
Oh, that's a nice shot. On drive, one of the hardest shots to play on the ground.
Chip down the ground for a single. In fact, they've taken 2 on the missed field.
Smart running there by Knight. Laura Knight running to the danger end. She noticed that there was a second chance or an opportunity for a second run and unselfishly took it. Got a sister back on strike. 2 more into the total. Pull the ball down the leg side. Through to the keeper there. Dot ball.
And again, that's all to do with your 1%ers, Dan. Running the first run hard, having a look, seeing the missed field. You often see, one of those old-fashioned cliches, don't run on missed fields, but allowing that first run hard has allowed Laura Knight to get back for that second run there a few balls ago now.
Well kept. Yeah, spot on, Lucas. Again, you've got to run that first because it gives you the option for maybe a second run. If you just dawdle that first one, well, it's only going to be one. So 15 overs completed here in the T20 Women's Plate Final. Hamilton Wickham won the toss, and after 15 overs, no wicket for 137. Kira Knight is 67 not out. Laura Knight is 49 not out. 5 overs remaining. And Toronto really want to try and reel this in. They need wickets. They need to take as many wickets as possible. I know that's a very obvious statement. But the difference between this total getting to 160 and possibly out to 200, Megan Feely coming into the attack. She's the 7th bowler to be used in this innings. Laura Knight on strike. She's 49 not out. She'll be looking to bring up a half century, and she certainly deserves a 50. She's batted really well. 6 boundaries in a 39 balls faced thus far. Megan Feely bowling to Laura Knight. And there's the 50. They'll come back for 2. They might come back for 3 here, actually. Looks like she's in quicksand. The poor girl out there in deep cover. They've run 3. They're going to come back for 4. And that's a half century to Laura Knight. 52 from 40 deliveries.
Yeah.
Great innings there, Lucas. 6 boundaries in that 52, going at 130. Very impressive strike rate. It's actually a faster strike rate than Kira, who's got 67 from 56 deliveries. And good to see the people up on the hill. They might be listening in. They were all over that being a 50, or they're watching the live scoring through Play HQ. Ball had some flight on it. That's gone out to that cover spot again. 4 more runs onto the total. It's going to run away, you would think. And it's just cotton there. Kira Knight now to 71. The total, no wicket for 144. So many runs have just been gifted through that area. And it's a learning process. They'll hopefully look back and see what could we have done better or what areas could we improve. And I think some of the field placements, and it must be hard, there's only 7 fielders, not 9. But you've just got to give your bowler every opportunity for coverage. Again, that's four fielders on the leg side, 3 on the off. There should be that 4th on the offside, I feel, and get them the bowling off stump. Ball hit out there to backward square just for a single. They're coming back for 2 on the arm. That's a fantastic running. Luke has commented a number of times on how well they're running between the wickets, and that's another perfect example. There wasn't 2 there, but they made it an easy 2.
Yeah, well, it's one definitely out to the sweeper, but then it's all to do with having your better fielders with the longer arms right on the fence. But they've, again, run the first one hard, turn one into a second, and they've got a fine glove on that one.
Could be trouble if it hits. No, they've made it.
That will be runs. That was off the glove. See that from up here.
Kieran Oppelham to 74. 59 deliveries. Put to 16 overs in 56 minutes, so they're going at a good clip too, which is great.
And there's that deep sweeper. Deep extra cover into play now. That's a better look. So, deep extra cover there with the short cover still in place, but that is the end of the over. And so after 16 overs, Hamwicks, Hamilton, Wickham, none for 148. Laura Knight, 53 off 41. Kieran Knight's got a bit of a wriggle on. She's now 74 off 59 deliveries, Dan.
Yeah, look, we said 120, and we blew it out to 140. 4 overs remaining, going at 9 1/4 and over. I mean, that's another, well, my wall's in high mass, that's about another 37 runs if they go at that same clip, which takes them into the 180s, 185. The only way to stem that are wickets. Oh, cracking shot down the ground. She's got every part of that. And Seymour's put it up there outside off stump. And Knipe has smashed that through mid-off. What a beautiful cricket shot that was.
It's almost the best shot of the day. Not bad. There to be driven, but that's a better line outside the off stump full.
But she's got no cover down there.
No
coverage. It's the 17th over. You can have 5 outside and still persist. Now the short cover's finally being pushed back. It's beyond the stage now where runs. I mean, give them the single now because they're going to take the boundaries. Just update. So still persisting with fine leg and backward square. There's 2 fielders on the fence, 20 metres from each other. Long off has now gone back onto the boundary. Long on looks like she's just inside the boundary. So we've got 4 outside the circle. Got a mid wicket and a short cover either side of the wicket and a deep gully inside the ring. That's one of the first balls that's been hit in the air. And that was only just for the first part. But that's gone through mid wicket for 4. A great shot there by Laura Knipe. And back-to-back boundaries now. She's 61 from 43 deliveries. Her 8th boundary. 20 boundaries have been hit in this innings. And again, there's 80 from 156. So it's over half the runs have come in boundaries. And that's where you're able to post those large totals, by putting boundaries onto the scorecard.
As you said, that's the first one that really the shoulders have really opened up here. So what she comes back with, yeah, she's freeing up now, been given the licence, and that's extremely well done there by the sweeper at deep square, charged in off the boundary, and that's where the singles only come from, not 2, just a single out to deep square.
She learnt from that last one when the ball went straight to and just sort of dawdled, but the Knight girls were straight on. They thought, no, there's 2 there, and they took it. But, they've got free rein. They can have a swing at everything here. They still need to show respect to the bowling, but straight back to the bowler for no run. Well bowled there by Kerry Seymour. He's sticking to a plan, bowling full stump to stump. Make them make the error. Seymour now in again. Kieran Knipe on strike. So it's just off the body there, off the side of the wicket. The keeper straight around there to pick that up. Couple of back-to-back dot balls. 1 ball remaining in what is the 17th over of this 20 over a side fixture. No wicket for 157. Kieran Knipe on strike. She's 74 not out. Facing Kerry Seymour. Chase that outside off stump. She's looking at the umpire, but she turned that into a legal ball by chasing it off the wicket. Seymour came back well then. Back-to-back boundaries to start the over. Come back with 3 dot balls. End of the 17th over. No wicket for 157, going at 9.24 runs and over. Laura Knipe is 62 not out from 44 deliveries, 8 boundaries. Kira Knipe, 74 not out from 62, with 12 boundaries. A sensational opening partnership this, in what is the Women's T20 Plate Final here at number 1 Sports Ground. I'd say this is Megan Feely to bowl her second over. Knight's tried to launch into that. They've taken one. And look at that great running.
They just Ray Chiduri there. Dan coming back for
Okay.
her
My
third.
apologies.
That was already better than. That was a better length. Just that back of a length, which in natural terms, not really allowing Knight to fully free the arms. She can come back with here. 4 this time. That's gone straight up in the air. And that's the first wicket of the innings. Emma Rachiduri comes on, second ball, takes the wicket of Laura Knight, which breaks a 159 opening stand here.
What a fantastic opening partnership. And great to see a lot of the Toronto girls congratulating Knight on her way off the field. A great innings come to an end. Do apologise with Raya Chowdhury bowling this 18th over. And it caught and bowled, was it?
Yes.
Ray Chowdhury doing the work all herself, coming back into the attack. Her first 2 overs went for 21. But she's come back well. A great knock there by Laura Knight. 64 from 46 deliveries, 8 boundaries. And has really helped set the platform along with Kira Knight of what is going to be a very ominous total and a tough run chase for Toronto workers in the second innings.
No. And in comes a new batter in Molly Simpson. Dan?
Yeah, well, I guess Molly Simpson's, she's just got a licence to hit. There's, what, 16 legal balls remaining. Just waiting for the live scoring to catch up. But Raya Chowdhury bowling to Simpson. Smart cricket there, just place that away on the leg side. I guess getting the informed Kira Knipe on strike as much as possible while she just gets away in is the smart play.
Yep.
160 for the loss of 1 wicket.
And saying that though, it's a ground that Molly Simpson knows extremely well, playing Australian rules here as well as a home ground. Forced off the back foot.
I'm just surprised Crystal Osborne's first 2 overs only went for 2. And I think one of them was a wide, so she went for 1 run off the bat in 2 overs. You would think that she would have to bowl one of the final 2 overs unless she's carrying an injury. But her remaining 2 overs would have been priceless for Toronto. That's gone straight through her. And in the space of 4 deliveries, Emma Raya Chowdhury has knocked over both Knipes, both opening bats. And, well, Kira Knipe again had nothing to lose with that platform that her and Laura set up. She's been bowled for 74 from 64 deliveries, 12 boundaries. And from no wicket for 159 now, Hamwicks, a 2 for 160. And Raya Chowdhury now 2 for 22 with 1 ball remaining in a 3rd over. This could be maybe a 2-wicket maiden.
Yeah, and it's 2 new batters at the crease at the same time, Dan.
Yeah, well, that'll certainly stem the run flow. I mean, in saying that, the girls have free licence. There's still 8 wickets in the shed with 13 balls remaining. Wickets aren't really an issue here. They want to score as many runs as they can because Toronto do have a formidable batting lineup. You mentioned some of the scores from some of their players from the previous time they met. But that's the end of the 18th over. And what a great over there by Raya Chowdhury. I've missed a couple of runs in that over. I do apologise. I thought they were all dot balls. Only 3 runs from the over, but most importantly, 2 wickets. The first 2 overs went for 19, but to come back and take 2 for 3 in these clutch overs, the 18th over, that's a huge effort by Emma Raya Chowdhury. Well bowled. 2 overs remaining. Looks like Crystal Osborne, who we just stated that thought would get her 4 overs. She's only going to get to bowl 3 overs. They've taken 1 ball hit there to mid-on. I believe that was Simpson. Takes her along to 2. So Cassette Thomas is the new batter. Number 4, I believe. Excellent. In comes Osborne. Second last over of the innings. Played that backward a square there. She's very keen to come back too. Fast running again. Running the first hard. But just a single. 162.
You'll see that with Simpson as well. Cricket, hockey, Australian rules. As good as it gets. Molly Simpson, extremely
multi-talented.
As you see with lots of women and girls as well across the country. Forced there. Cracked to short mid-wicket.
Tell you what, it sounded good off the bat. We've ended up with 2, and that was so well fielded there at mid-wicket. It didn't deserve any runs. And
no.
To be honest, a good throw might have been a run out. She's ended up with 2, but how well did she hit that?
Absolutely smoked there. It was well fielded at short mid-wicket. But you've got one taking the single, and they got an overthrow too to mid-off. So still running hard between the wickets here at Hamwicks. It's Simpson again on strike. Osborne in, back of a length, forced through the leg side, and it's a beautiful pull shot.
Great shot there by Molly Simpson. Just rock back and across. Smack that, a massive gap out there in mid-wicket. As we've said numerous times, there's 2 fielders fielding behind square on the fence, and then there's a mid-on. And then a short mid-wicket. There's no one covering what we call cow corner. And that was money for jam there for Molly Simpson. 4 runs, takes her along to 8 from only 4 deliveries. And as we say now, backward squares moved around to cow corner on the fence. And Osborne's gone straight through her. Simpson trying to get on with it, get as many runs for a team. Very unselfish play. She's been clean bowled there by Crystal Osborne. And she deserves a wicket. She bowled really well, especially in that first spell where she only went for 2 runs from her first 2 overs.
Yeah, stump to stump there. Osborne, you miss, I hit. Exactly what's happened there. And Simpson's on her way. 8 off 4, a little cameo. And I'll be wanting a few more of those before the innings is out. But 3 wickets in a hurry here for Toronto. And again, stemming the flow of runs late in this Hamwicks innings, Dan.
Yeah, look, and again, we said a couple of overs ago, there'll be the difference between whether this innings gets upwards of 200 or whether it's 180. And now there's no guarantees that 180 could get scored. Now 3 for 168. There's 7 legal balls remaining in this innings. It looks like Evie West is the new batter, a left-hander. First left-hand batter we've seen this afternoon. Osborne, which will be her final ball of the innings. That's been cut away there to short cover. They'll take the single. 2, 4, 8, 9 runs from the over. It's not updated yet. The live score is just a little bit behind a couple of balls on your screen. Now it looks like it's caught up. Great stuff. So at the end of 19 overs, Hamwicks up 3 for 169. Cassette Thomas 1 from 2. And Evie West is 1 from 1. She's back on strike. Final over of this Hamwicks innings, and we're just waiting for confirmation who will bowl it. I'd say it will be Emma Ray Chowdhury after that great over the over before. Well, she dismissed both openers. That's definitely her bowling. And first ball of the final over, stump to stump, falling straight, and all Evie West could do, play it back down the ground, Lucas.
So we've got a deep mid-wicket, Dan. We've got a mid-off that's 2/3 of the way to the fence. As Red Chowdhury comes back in again, outside the off stump. Just try to glide it down, did West. Can't get bat on ball, and it's another dot.
Yeah, good fight back here by Toronto. They can keep this under, well, I guess 175 even. I mean, that's a great total. But, you want to chase as few as possible, especially in finals. Ball's been hit backward of square. They're coming back for 2. That'll be an easy 2 there to Evie West. It's a total on to 171 for loss of 3 wickets. 3 legal balls remaining in this T20 innings of Hamwicks.
So a good start here from Ray Chowdhury. See what she can finish off with this last half of her over.
Oh, the old one short. Looks like we're seeing everything here this afternoon. The proverbial mixed bag.
Just haven't seen pigs run on the field yet, Dan. I don't think we'll see that though this afternoon. Full outside the off stump. carved
I'll
away
take
through
that bet.
cover.
Oh, that's going to be 4. Oh, well fielded. I think you got that back. That's a great effort. There's still run that come back for a third. That was well fielded.
Right on the boundary, extremely well fielded there, saving a run.
There's only a bees, you know what, in that. But she got that hand down perfectly, scooped that and flicked it back just before it passed the witches' hats. 3 for 173. 2 legal balls remaining in this innings. Raya Chowderai bowling to Thomas. She's hit that to 5 legs. Been a misfield. They've taken 1. They're coming back for 2. And again, it's going to end up an easy 2 with the misfield there at fine leg. 3 for 175, Lucas. 1 ball remaining.
It is. So see what they do with the field here if they make any changes. Deep backward square is the only one out. Mid off on the ring. Red Chowderai, last ball, full, straight. And that'll just be forced to mid off for a single, you would think.
Misfield.
In fact, there's a misfield.
It might come again on the arm too. You'd just go, wouldn't you?
I would have thought so. 1 on the arm, but it was a good throw in from the boundary. And that's innings, ladies and gentlemen. And after 20 overs, Hamwicks posting an incredibly, after that first wicket stand of 155, Hamwicks after 20 overs, 3 for 177, Dan.
Yeah, look, a great total there by Hamwicks. They won the toss, they batted first, and that 159 run opening partnership between Laura and Kira Knight just set the platform of an excellent total. Toronto are going to have to be on their A game to chase that down. The scorecard, 3 for 177 from 20. Laura Knight, 64 from 46 deliveries. Kira Knight, 74 from 64 deliveries. Molly Simpson with a quick fire 8 from 5 balls. Cosette Thomas not out 5 from 4. Evie West not out 5 from 5. There were 21 sundries, 20 overs completed. Hamwicks 3 for 177. I'm Dan Saunders here with Lucas Holmes. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side with Toronto's innings. They are chasing 178. So just a touch under 9 runs and over for victory in the T20 Women's Plate Final here at Number 1 Sports Ground. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to number one Sports Ground for the final of the NDCA Women's T20 Plate. The final between Hamilton Wickham and Toronto Workers District Cricket Clubs. Hamilton Wickham won the toss, batted first and scored 3 for 177, with Kira Knight scoring 74 and Laura Knight scoring 64. 178 is the target. I'm Dan Saunders, joined here in commentary by Lucas Holmes, and Lucas, Toronto have quite the run chase ahead of them.
They sure have, Dan, but as we saw in that first innings, mostly everything through the infield is 4 runs. So bat on ball, most of it was all along the ground for the Knight sisters for the majority. So if Toronto do the same thing, it may be a very interesting contest over that, Dan, and that's all we want to see up here.
Very much so. And again, if Toronto have learned anything from their time in the field, what you just said is spot on. Anything that beats the field is going to the fence for 4. Wickets in hand are key, so they can play their natural game and not have pressure on the middle order. A lot's going to depend on how Toronto start. We're just waiting on the live scoring on the screen just to update so we can let you know who will be coming out to bat. Unfortunately, Toronto don't have numbers on their playing shirts, so we're playing a bit blind there. We are relying on the live scoring for the bats people's names. But the lay of the land here is Toronto need 178 runs for victory. They have 120 balls to achieve this. It's 9 players aside in this format. So 7 fielders plus keeper and bowler. Bowling can only bowl a maximum, deliveries in and over a maximum of 8. So if any sundries are any wides or no balls, can only re-bowl a maximum of 2 of those. It's Evie West who has the new ball. The first 10 overs will be bowled from this southern end here of number one Sports Ground, the Merriweather end as we refer to it. So first 10 overs will bowled from one end, and then they'll switch to the northern end or the Market Town end here at number one Sports Ground. So we're playing blind just at present with the live scoring. We do hope that corrects itself very shortly. But we do know it's Evie West. She has the new ball. She'll be bowling the first over for Hamwicks. Toronto innings has commenced, and a good full ball there. And a very short cover there, which was a tactic that Toronto implemented in the field too, Lucas.
And that's the skipper in there too. Wendy Rogers there at short cover, and already, Dan, deep square leg, right on the fence, deep fine leg. That looks like Molly Simpson surveying that area at the moment.
Ball displayed out the offside for no run.
So a mid-off, short cover, point, and then on the leg side, deep fine, short mid-wicket, deep square leg, and mid-on.
Okay, so the 2 batsmen are Emma Ray Chatterai and Kelly Jolly.
That'd be Ray Chatterai
on strike.
On strike for sure, yeah.
Our live scoring is all up to date now on the vision on your screen. So if you're watching the Frogbox Live Vision, everything is working perfect, which is fantastic. So all the ingredients are here for a fantastic afternoon run chase. The plate final here, Toronto Workers versus Hamilton Wickham District Cricket Club. 178 is the target. So what's that? A fraction under 9 runs and over, and they need to get that from ball 1. This power play, very important, Lucas.
It sure was. We saw that in the Hamwicks first innings. We'll see field change now for the left-hander there in Jolly. The deep square for our Chatterai is coming out to a point, and they're looking for a deep square on the leg side. That's going back now, and Simpson's going from fine to fine. Fine leg for the right-hander to fine leg for the left. So the field almost identical for both batters. In comes West, full on the off stump, and already the length's good, the line's good already for Hamwicks, and West is going about to work in her first over.
Yeah, also some issues there with the vision there, what you're watching on Frogbox. West's bowling stats aren't correct. She's bowled 5 balls, and her 6th ball, she's taken a wicket. Looks like she's gone straight through Kelly Jolly, has she? Just watching the replay. She has clean bowled middle stump. As you'll notice, the zinger stumps are in effect. They've changed the stumps at the change of play. And Jolly has been clean bowled by Evie West. And what a magic start here for Hamwicks. The first wicket has fallen. And at the end of the first over, Toronto couldn't have asked for a worse start. 1 for 1.
And just tried to work it through the onside. Did Jolly, and again, straight and full there from West and cleaned her up. So 1 for 1 at the end of the first over. A big start here for Hamwicks, who are in a commanding position already, having posted that huge first innings total. And it'll be Avery Starr who will bowl the second over here. Again, they'll have 10 overs bowled at one end and then chain ends for the final 10. Starr in, floated up there on the leg stump, just outside. Dot ball called by the umpire. There, no run. So again, for the new batter in Kylie Clark, a deep square and a deep fine leg that has moved a little bit squarer now, almost to the 45. Starr in, flighted, has worked through the leg side. Definitely one. Will they take one on the arm? They will not. As it skips off the wicket square to the keeper on the bounce. So only a single there to the new batter in Clark. So it'll be Chatterai back on strike. In comes Starr again, right arm over the wicket. Back of a length. Forced through the leg side. Terrific sliding stop there, right on the deep square leg boundary. And saves 3 runs. So, Toronto working it around in this early portion. Yes, they've lost the first wicket. But they're finding bat on ball early. And after 1.5 overs, they're 1 for 3. In comes Starr again. Full off, middle and off, and driven beautifully through the offside. That's as textbook cover drive as you can get, Dan. A beautiful shot there from Rao Chatterai. And that's the first boundary of the Toronto Workers District Cricket Club innings.
She looks like a very quality cricketer, Rao Chatterai. She bowled really well, 2 for 30 from her 4 overs. And a beautiful stroke there, the first boundary of the innings. And Ray Chatterai's got a big innings to play here to give Toronto as much of an opportunity here in this plate final.
Nice full there, good recovery from Starr. I mean, bat on ground there. There's a half appeal. How can Starr finish off her first over? Right arm over the wicket, full. Down the leg side. Fortunately for Avery, it'll be rebowled. So a maximum of 8 legal balls in an over can be delivered. 2 can be rebowled from your legal 6, as it were. So Starr in again. Right arm over the wicket, into middle and leg, forced off the back foot. But it's a dot. And that's the end of the second over of the Toronto Workers District Cricket Club innings. After 2 overs, they 1 for 7 in pursuit of Hamilton Wickham's 3 for 177.
Just so our viewers know too, CSL there is Cricket Southern Lakes, in case anyone's unsure of why it's saying CSL and we're saying Toronto Workers. It is Toronto Workers District Cricket Club, but Cricket Southern Lakes is the name it's in the frog box for reasons. Third over here, Evie West. Great first over she bowled. She took that wicket in the last ball of the first over. The first over, 1 for 1. And of course she's going to be throwing the pill for a second over. And she may well bowl her 4 straight, because Hamwicks really want to put their foot on their throat after such a good total. They're going to want to take as many early wickets possible. Toronto, on the flip side, they need to score as many runs as they can without losing wickets. And they need to put a total on in this power play. They've lost 1 wicket early. They can't afford to lose too many more. And inside the first 10.
And if you're Hamwicks after this delivery, West back of a length outside the off stump, slashed away.
Oh, well fielded.
Beautiful fielding there.
Forward point diving in front there. Lane Flannery. Great piece of fielding there. Just backward of point. But great commitment in the field. Again, just seeing that compared to, I guess, what we saw in the field earlier, just that commitment there by Hamwicks in the field. Very impressive.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, Dan, why wouldn't you want to bowl your better bowlers first up as well? Puts the pressure on Toronto first up, makes them have to force the issue, and if you can take 3 or 4 wickets in the power play, the game is almost over at that point, really, chasing that large of a total.
Well, that's right. I mean, they need to go at 9 and over just for par. Any over that doesn't go for at least 9 and over, that run rate required is going to get up into double figures. And it's just going to make it so much more difficult for the middle order when they've got to come out to bat. So Toronto, they'll be doing everything they can. 1 for 10 with 1 ball remaining in this third over. The scores are a little bit behind here, unfortunately, with the live scoring.
That one stayed a little bit low there from West, didn't bounce nearly as much as Clark expected, and West gets out of that over very well.
So at the end of the third over, Toronto 1 for 10, chasing 178 for victory. Emma Ray Chatterai 7 from 11. Kylie Clark is 2 not out from 5. The dismissed batter, Kylie Taylor, was bowled by Evie West for a second ball duck.
So Star again, right arm over the wicket. Deep square, deep fine leg. Forced off the back foot. And it is fielded there at backward point. No run there. And it'll be Flannery again, who made that terrific stop earlier in the contest.
Yeah, so a big key is the amount of boundaries that need to be hit. 21 boundaries were hit by Hamwicks in their innings. Just been 1 boundary so far in the first 3 and a bit overs here. That could get away to the fence. Oh, that's gone for 4. Nice shot there through the covers. Raya Chatterai, there wasn't much on that. She just punched that into the gap, but it ran away. It's like it's rolling down a hill.
And particularly if it gets the edge of that wicket squared in, it's going to race away off that, especially if it goes down at a 45-degree angle, it will spit away. But great shot then from Raya Chatterai. Toronto need her to bat the majority of the innings and need some support as well for her.
Yeah, she needs a big innings to put a team in good stead here in this run chase. She's 11 from 14 deliveries. Total 14 after 3.3 overs. So again, the fielding is square leg on the boundary, fine leg on the boundary. All other fielders, so point, a very short cover and a wide mid-off on the offside, a very short mid-wicket, and a mid-on the onside. That's a 4-3 leg side field. Ball just played away there on the offside for no run.
Chatterai looks like a very technical sort of batter. Again, that was full. Could have easily tried to taken that across the line, but played with that high front elbow, tried to force it, almost bunt it through cover. Star in again.
Oh,
It's worked it way off the back foot. It's going fine. Flannery keeps it to 1. As Raya Chatterai makes her way to 12 off 16 deliveries with 2 boundaries in those 12 runs now.
Yeah, just run rate just a touch under 4 and over, and try. They need to do better. It might sound harsh, but they're a chance of running down this 178. The scoring needs to accelerate. There's could be some runs there pulled away on the leg side, but square legs come in from the boundary and just kept that to 1. And again, the difference there, fielder back on the fence in those key areas, takes the boundary away. It's 1, maybe 2. But at the end of the 4th over, Toronto workers are 1 for 16, going at 4 and over. They require another 162 runs from 16 overs, so the run rate required already crept up over 10.
So you're looking at
Evie West bowling again, as said, thought she might bowl her 4 straight. She's bowling a 3rd, killing half the power play for a team. I think it's very smart tactics here by Hamwicks. Your best bowlers bowl them at the better batters, best chance of taking wickets.
We saw that a couple of times a few weeks ago, didn't we, Dan, when we covered Dennis Broad here a few weeks ago? We saw
The Pythons played that card.
I did on in both of their games. Both openers bowled 4 straight.
Yeah, and it worked for them. I mean, they won the semi-final. Didn't do too well in the final. but they come across a very impressive Wests District Cricket Club in that grand final there a couple of weeks ago. That's a great shot, but it hasn't gone. I thought she smoked that. It's one. They've come back for two. Nice stroke there by Clark again through the covers, but didn't get all of it. Thought the way that sounded off the bat, it's 4 runs all the way, but takes Clark along to 5, total along to 18, midway through the 5th over here. And Evie West, 1 for 5 from 2.3 overs. What a great stint of bowling. Shout for something there. Sort of beat everything. I think that's going to be a bye. Umpire signal there?
Was a leg bye.
Was a leg bye.
Yep.
Okay, so it was maybe the keeper that went up there for the pearl. The bowler had no interest.
I think it was a short mid-wicket, actually.
Okay. Well, she's got the best view on the house. Evie West now to Raya Chowdhury. We'll see away on the offside for no run. 1 for 19, only 3 runs off this over thus far. One legal ball remaining in this 5th over. West, in she comes. It's on the offside there, it's been pushed away back with a point. Taking a run on the arm. It's ended up an easy single, well run there by Clark, running to the danger end. 5 overs completed in this Toronto Workers District Cricket Club innings in pursuit of 178 for victory. They are 1 for 20. Raya Chowdhury is 12.
Clark.
Actually, she's 13. Apologies. And Kylie Clark is 5 from 10. 1 for 20. Evie West, 3 overs, 1 for 6. Very impressive bowling figures there.
Looks like it sure is, Dan. It looks like it may be a change of bowling now as well.
At 8?
I think it might be Kira Knight.
Well, if she bowls anywhere near as well as she bats, she's going to be a very handy prospect. It is Kira Knight. A sensational innings of 74 as part of a 159 run opening partnership with sister Laura Knight. And she comes to Raya Chowdhury. All she can do is push that back down the wicket.
It's all right. Nice run up, even, smooth, nice high gather with that front arm as well. Kira Knight, some good coaching clearly through her junior career. From a bowling perspective, I can't give too much batting tips, but one thing I can do.
Run rate seen it to just over 10.5 and over. Nice bowling there by Knight. Well ran. A good throw, could be in trouble. A direct hit, she'll be out. What a throw.
Molly Simpson there at point.
Molly Simpson's thrown the stumps down. The zinger, she's nearly smashed middle stump. What a direct hit, a great throw. And Kylie Clark, she was left sort of helpless. It needed a good throw to the keeper for a run out, but that direct hit took all the argument out of it. Umpire there strikes back at square leg, and no alternative but to get the finger up. The second wicket has fallen, and Toronto in deep trouble. 2 for 20 in the 6th over, chasing 178 in this women's T20 plate final here at Number 1 Sports Ground. The impressive fielding here by Hamwicks thus far, and that throw, brilliant.
Yeah, clean gather there from Simpson. Would have had the best part of two and a half starts to aim at there from sort of backward point, and made no mistake. Rocked the middle stump right back.
Tell you what, rocket arm too. It's probably 4 overthrows if it misses.
Yeah.
So Rebecca Callan is the new striker, left-hand batswoman.
So Callan in the semi-final in that win against Stockton, as you spoke about there, Dan. 69 off 65. So
also very capable. They're going to need at least the 69 not out from Cowan to be a chance of running this big total down. But Knight so far, dot wicket, which was a run out and dot. These dot balls are just gold in the power play. Well, at any time in T20, but especially inside the power play. Kira Knight in again. Full of ball. She's hit that well, but again, well fielded there. Is it? Yeah, Molly Simpson out there sweeping now. Square of the wicket on the leg side. In the first innings, that's probably 4 runs. She's kept that to 1. And again, it just can't stress enough how important is having that sweeper on either side of the field in these short form matches. So Raya Chowdhury back on strike. She's 13 from 19 deliveries. And this partnership for Toronto, this is key. They need this pair to be there well deep into this innings. The ball pushed away there on the leg side for a single.
A bit of a thick inside half portion of the bat there, out to mid wicket for a single. It's a left-right combo here for Toronto. So trying to work Kieran Knipe away from a line and length, but it's been solid so far. Callan looks very sturdy out there, very solid technique from that first ball forward defence. Knipe in, full outside the off stump, driven away. Should be picked off by mid-off and is. So just a single there.
Takara Stolk.
Out there to Stolk at mid-off.
So that's the end of the power play. After 6 overs, Toronto workers are 2 for 23. Rhea Chatterai's 14 not out from 20. The new batswoman Rebecca Cowan is 2 from 3. Power play is over, so they can now have a maximum of 5 outside the ring. And I would suggest that Hamwicks, they'll cover up those, heavy boundary areas, square of the wicket, and maybe one straight. A change of bowler here, so West, they're going to save an over. It's like Cassette Thomas, number 4. Only bowling off a couple of steps. Looks like we're going to have some spin or some darts. So 155 is the required target off 14 overs. That's just out over 11 runs and over now. Ooh. Nice flight there by Thomas early on, and Callan's hit through that and missed everything.
So we've got a deep fine down and we've got a deep square leg. It'll be Molly Simpson surveying a deep square fence, and it'll be Thomas bowling off a couple of steps, bowling some right arm leg spin against the left-handed Callan. Sits back, a bit of short of length, and they're going to take a single.
Here could be trouble.
Will
by Callan.
Yeah, good save actually. There's almost an overthrow there. It was going quite quickly, but well backed up here. In fact, there by Kieran Knipe again, doing a job. It's the right-handed Jerry as well. As we have some team news, we might have to try and get some numbers later on. As that ball's beaten the outside edge. Yeah, so a single on a dot going the way of Thomas, the first 2 balls. Excuse me. A deep square leg and a deep fine for Thomas. Full outside the off stump. It's gone over the head of the mid-off, and that should scoot away for 4.
Which one's that?
Has it? It has.
Steve. Sorry. Will we be able to get some team numbers from someone from City?
I can find those for you.
That would be...
I think Julie Morton's coming to do some commentary with you.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
I'll go down and I'll find.
So after that shot over cover, this one's going through point. You're right, Dan. This will work away through the offside. They're going for 2. Out to Simpson on the deep point fence for 2.
Oh, have they? Oh, wow.
So Thomas again, right arm over, back of a length, tried to work through that point region. They've taken on Simpson, and there's a misfield, and it's 4 as a result. So Simpson went down with the one hand, and as a result, straight underneath her and through to the point fence for 4. And that's a nice shot there from Adachuri for another boundary. She's now 25 not out of 24 deliveries. She's hit 4 boundaries, and it's the recovery that Toronto have needed. That was the end of the over as well. So after 7 overs, Toronto District Workers Cricket Club are 2 for 35 in pursuit of Hamwicks, 3 for 177. And it's been Kira Knipe back into the attack for her second over. Right arm over to the left-handed Callan. Just pulled in there to short mid-wicket. Fielded by the Hamwicks skipper. And Rogers for no run there. Was the first ball the over. Back to Knipe. Right arm over the wicket to the left-hander. Full outside the off stump. And that's gone for 4 through mid-wicket.
These runs just starting to pile up here for Toronto.
It is. It's Callan now. It was Jury who did the damage in the back half of the previous over, Dan, and it's Callan who's taken up the attack to Kira Knipe.
Great to see. Ray Chatterai screamed on the 25, but better than a runner ball, and Callan with her first boundary. 7 from 7. That's been skied to mid-off. Oh, it's gone over her head. She mistimed that there. Fielder there, number 11, Stolt. Looked like off the bat it was going straight down her throat, but it's gone over her head, and a single there to Callan. Total along with 39 for the loss of 2 wickets. Because following this game, we'll have the T20 Cup, the final of the women's T20 competition between Newcastle City and Waratah Mayfield. The link is up on our YouTube page, NDCA live stream. It's also on the Cricket Newcastle News and Views page, the NDCA Facebook page as well. That game was scheduled to kick off at about 6:15. That's not going to be the case. It will kick off when this game finishes. Might be closer to 6:30 or just after. So Laura Knipe. Bowling, they've appealed down the leg side. 1 run onto the tail, be a leg by. Makes the tail on to 40 for the loss of 2 wickets. 1 ball remaining in this 8th over. So run rate's up to 5 and over. So they're increasing their run rate, Lucas, but they nearly need to go double that at present to give this total a real shake.
They do.
They might have taken an overthrow there, actually.
They did, Dan, and it'll have to be these 2 batters that do the work. It's Shuri and Callan have looked solid so far.
I'll just get confirmation too. I think in the cup they may be 11 aside. I think it's only in the plate that it's 9 aside. Yep, that's correct. I'll have to confirm those no ball rules too for the cup.
Yeah.
That's end of the over. 8 overs completed. And Toronto, 2 for 41. Raya Chatterai is 25 not out from 27. Rebecca Callan is 7 not out from 8. Knight's first over, Laura Knight, 1 over, no wicket for 5. Looks like another bowler marking out their run. It looks like, I think it might be, is that Cassette Thomas again? I thought that was number 4.
Yep.
It is. So Thomas is bowling again. Her first over, she copped a bit of stick, went for 11. See how she comes back in this over, bowling to Callan. Good bounce there off the wicket. Not much she could do there, but just let it hit her and no run.
Trying to drop that into the leg side. Topped it a little bit there, Callan, who's tall, so that means that Thomas is getting a fair amount of purchase from the wicket. Floats it up, outside the leg stump, should be punished, but only gets it to a short fine for a single.
This partnership already 22. As we keep saying, this pair will need to go deep in this innings to give this 178 target a real shake. Still need another 2 for 43, so another 135 runs required.
So Thomas, as the fine leg works around for the change of hand for the batters, out of Churi. Chatterai punches it down the ground for a single. Slight misfield, but well kept actually in the end. As they get a single, again Callan back on strike. Deep square goes out. Deep mid-wicket goes out onto the fence. Fine leg goes around to a 45. As Callan has another swing and miss, but they'll get a single. In fact, they'll get 2 because it's 2 wides.
I guess the one thing finding it's glaringly obvious here is that Hamwicks put away just about every bad ball.
Yep.
Toronto, they're just not putting those bad balls to the fence. And it's just making a difference because they really need to start adding them up in 4s. The 1s and 2s just aren't going to get them there. Strike rotated there. 1 ball remaining in this 9th over. 2 for 47. Raya Chatterai 27, Callan 8. Callan on strike facing Thomas. Fuller ball there, which is missed out on down the leg side. Direct hit could be trouble, but she's missed. Well backed up there. Umpire's called wide, so that'll be 2 wide. So that'll need to be re-bowled as well.
Extremely well backed up there though, because there will be easily another 2.
Oh, it would have gone to the fence for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely. Okay, so mid-offs. She's come in from mid-wicket from the left-hander. The ball hit away through cover. Well, great fielding there. Nice throw as well. That Molly Simpson, she's an amazing out in the field. She is fantastic. She pulled off that run out a few overs ago, and she's saved numerous runs already out in the outfield.
You think about it too though, Australian rules and a hockey background, so aerobic in nature. No
Used to
real
covering
surprises
plenty
there.
of turf.
No real surprises there. Was it well bowled there by Thomas? End of her second over.
So 9 from that over. She had 11 from her first. 2 overs, no wicket for 20. After 9 overs, Toronto Workers 2 for 50 in pursuit of 178 for victory. 128 from 11. So just under 12 runs an over is the asking rate. The 10th and final over to be bowled from this southern end. The ponytail covering the number. I think this is Laura Knipe. Just waiting for confirmation on that. Oh, nice cut shot from Cullen. But she hasn't got all of it. It's not going to go to the fence. Hamwicks innings, that was 4. They've only gotten 1 there, and it just keeps adding up. It's building the scoreboard pressure.
I believe it might be Kira Knipe in 8.
Kira, I couldn't see the number due to the ponytail, but wasn't sure which of the Knipe girls it was. Laura Knipe's first over only went for 5. It is Kira Knipe. Well played there, Lucas. 1.1 over, no wicket for 4. She's bowling to Raya Chowdhury. Just up there at the hip. All she can do is just push that away on the leg side for no run. Raya Chowdhury, 29 not out off 32, 4 boundaries, and we keep saying it, big innings required from her for her team. A little crowd building up here at number 1 Sports Ground. Doing nothing, come on down. Free entry, sun's out, it's great up on the hill. Got a couple of eskies up there so you can smuggle them in. Plenty of room in the grandstand, plenty of shade. Bring the dog down, throw the stick up on the hill.
Lights will be on in the next little while as well, so will be great to witness this being utilised, this new facility now that we have.
Oh, it's gorgeous under lights here, just makes you want to go out there and play as well. So Cullen facing Knipe. Full toss. And again, they've missed out. That ball's just been hit straight out to the sweeper at mid-wicket, which they've implemented. 1 run. The first innings, that was 4.
Yep.
There was no fielder out there. So again, so the fielder, so for Raya Chowdhury, she has square leg back on the fence. She is boundary riding. Fine legs also on the fence and very fine. Mid-on, mid-off are on the ring. Covers very short. Points standard. Short mid-wicket, who's just fielded the ball there on the leg side. And mid-on looks like she's on the ring as well, the fielding restriction ring. So only 2 out still, and that's all they require, I guess. And the run rate's upwards of 12 and over. That was Knipe, which should be the last ball of this over. Nice bowling there, straight at the stumps. You got a leading edge down there to third man for 1. Not interested in 2. Raya Chowdhury moves along to 31, and that's the end of 10 overs. And Toronto Workers in pursuit of 178 for victory are 2 for 54. So 10 overs, 124. Walls in high school maths, that should be 12.4 and over, Lucas Holmes. This run rate is getting higher, and it's going to be difficult, but they've only lost 2 wickets. They've come back well from those couple of early wickets, Lucas. But realistically, if they're going to chase this total down, this partnership, they need to start accelerating. They need to start looking to score for every ball, rotate the strike, take the ones that were singles, and the bad ball, they've got to put it away.
So it's near enough, it's just over to a ball, but I just want to highlight something in that previous over from Kira Knipe. I think it might have been the 4th or 5th ball of the over. It was dug in quite short, but it was in at middle and leg down. And that's exactly what they had, those short mid-wicket there and that square leg. So that's really bowling into your field, making We had a Chatterai just knock it off the hip, couldn't do much with it. It was banged in, it was short, but it's bowling right to your field, which is exactly what you want if you're Rogers there, the Hamwicks skipper, bowling exactly to the field that you've set.
Yeah, spot on, Lucas.
So, of course, this being the 11th over, the change ends, and it's Thomas to resume her third over. It's a bit of an edge, but it's worked away down the ground, and it's through wide mid long on for 4, Dan.
Yeah, look, that boundary will help, and it's the first of quite a few that they're going to need. A nice stroke there through mid-wicket by Ray Chatterai. Takes on to 35 from 36 deliveries. Really going about a business quite well.
She
Just
tries to
updating the Facebook page with the scores.
Right, she tried to go inside out over cover that time. Well bowled there by Thomas. Tossed it up, bit wide of the eye line. Made Ray Chatterai chase it a little bit short of a length that time. Great catch. That's extremely well done. We'll have the luxury to see this on replay. But
Top edge.
Laura Knight's taken an absolute screamer at wicket keeper.
So wasn't she just bowling before?
No, it was.
At least she's bowled before.
Look, that was Kieran Knight.
No, Laura's bowled an over. Well,
She has
game
bowled
boy,
an over as well,
I
but
didn't see him change over. That's a spectacular catch, one-handed, and the most important part of that wicket, that's the dangerous Ray Chatterai, who was the key to Toronto's run chase. She's been dismissed for 35 from 38 deliveries. A fantastic catch. Cassette Thomas worked really hard to get that wicket. Got a bit of stick early, but that's a big wicket for Hamwicks, and the last thing that Toronto workers needed in this run chase.
that catch would have been extremely difficult too, particularly with the peak of the helmet. You would have lost it slightly with the ball going over her head, but Laura Knight kept her composure, stuck out the 1 minute, and the ball stuck in it as well.
Fantastic effort behind the stumps. And just waiting for the scores to update on the live scoring, but left-handed Callan on strike now. We believe it's 3 for 59 after that single. Thomas tossing it up, a nice stroke straight down the ground by Rebecca Callan. But again, it's not enough on it. There's been a misfield. They'll come back for 2. Kerry Seymour's the new batter. She's at the non-strikers end at present. Rebecca Callan on strike with that 2. I believe they'll take along to 13 from 14 deliveries. Thomas tossing it up. It's been hit through mid-wicket, but there's Molly Simpson out there. That'll just be 1. No chance of 2 on that arm, and 1 run it is. The scores are updated. 3 for 60. 1 ball remaining in this 11th over. Actually, that's the end of 11 overs. 3 for 61. Rebecca Callan. And she has all the work to do now for Toronto. 11 not out from 13. The new striker, Kerry Seymour, 2 from 2. 117 required now from 9 overs. So upwards of 13 runs an over now. It's really starting to get it away from Toronto.
Yeah, well and truly over to a ball now. But I really need to start to open the shoulders, you would think. Callan's a set batter. You would think she'd be the one that would have to go.
It's like Wendy Rogers coming into the attack now. The skipper. Is she the captain?
She sure is.
Yep, the captain Wendy Rogers. She'll bowl the 12th over here from the Market Town end, the northern end of number 1 sports ground. And Hamwicks at this point well in control of this plate final. Toronto are going to need something special from here. Rogers bowling with a fine leg on the ring. Backwards square, and that ball split them. A great dive by the fine leg. Number 2 there, Lane Flannery. She saved 4. They've only ran 1. She saved 3 there off the bat. Fantastic commitment. And again, these Hamwicks, their efforts in the field, nothing short of excellent.
You're not wrong, Matt. We'll see the new batter in Seymour. Face her 3rd delivery. She's 2 off 2. See what she can add to this partnership here with Callan, who's looked quite solid. The left-hander now at the non-strikers.
So square leg on the fence. Fine leg is very fine, nearly at a backstop, and not on the fence. Keeper's got the ball there. Direct hit could be, well, easy run there. Single to Seymour, gets the dangerous Callan back on strike. I think they really need to try and go after Rogers. They really need to go after everyone now. 12th over, 3 for 62. That's been smacked. That's 4 runs. That's going all the way out to the picket fence here at number 1 Sports Ground. A nice shot there by Rebecca Callan. Takes her along to 16 from 15 deliveries. Her second boundary, Lucas, and she's shown she's very capable. And as you said in the semi-finals, at 69, not out off 65 balls.
It sure was. Just dropped a little bit short there, Rogers. Short down the leg side, outside the line of leg stump, and Callan just needed to get something on it, and exactly that, away to the fence for 4.
She needs someone to go with her though. We saw in the Hamwicks innings, it was both nights. Both went big, 74 and 64 respectively. There's a wide with or no ball. They've taken a run, so 2 more onto the total. That'll be re-bowled. 3 for 69, midway through this 12th over. Rogers tosses it up. Boulder. It's gone straight through Seymour. And the skipper done a job for a team there. She tossed that right up, got out of sort of under the, I guess out of the
eye line.
The eye line. Played across the line, and Seymour has been clean bowled by Wendy Rogers. The 4th wicket has fallen with a total on 69, and Hamilton and Wickham, if they weren't in control of this plate final, certainly are in control of it now.
Again, full and straight, as you said there, Dan. Tossed it up, gave it out of the eye line there of Seymour, and the skipper strikes with a wicket. And 4 for 69 now are Toronto workers after 11.4 overs. So we'll see wickets falling around Callan at the other end, and we'll see what the new batter can do here for Toronto. It looks like it'll be Crystal Osborne who'll be coming to the crease, who in this fixture earlier in the season, down in round 5, Osborne 27 not out of 33 deliveries in that win in round 5. So Osborne can do something with the bat as well, and she'll have to do a lot more than that today. Osborne facing Rogers, her first ball at the crease. Short, extremely fine leg, deep square out on the fence. Half an appeal, shut down. Rogers with the backhand flick, almost a run out. Overcommitted are the non-strikers there, did Callan, and almost found herself in some danger there, trying to get back on strike and almost ran herself out as a result. So Osborne across the line, nice sweep shot. Out to deep square, the sweeper, as Dan's alluded to so often through this first game, and it's only a single out there. So it was going to be Callan back on strike, and it's the end of the over. So what's Rogers going to do with the bowling attack? It looks like it'll be Molly Simpson who will come into the attack wearing number 3. So Simpson, what's the field going to look like? Rogers has taken time, spoken to a bowler. What's the plan? What field would you like? And now Simpson has to bowl to that plan. Deep square. Fine, 2/3 of the way back to the fence. In fact, it's right on the ring here. Simpson, right arm off a couple of steps, outside the leg stump. Little under edge. Down to fine for a single. And after 12.1 overs, Toronto 4 for 70. They require a further 107 runs off 7.5 overs. So Simpson to Callan. Deep square. Simpson will bowl around the wicket to the left-handed Callan. Just off 2 or 3 steps. Simpson drags it down and gets away with it. Callan couldn't quite get bat on ball. Score remains 4 for 71. So Simpson staying around the wicket. Wide up. Got an under edge. Tried to belt the leather off that one there, did Callan. Got a little under edge. And it's now Cassette Thomas that has the keeping gear on after bowling her allotment of right arm wrist spin. Simpson flights it up there and Callan just drops it into the leg side to the deep square sweeper for a single. As Thomas prevents an overthrow. Osborne on strike. Simpson back over the wicket. Short down the leg side. Worked away. Short down the leg side and punished for 4 to the deep backward square fence. And that's what Toronto need. They need to be working their way in boundaries at the moment. And as Osborne moves to 6 off 4 deliveries. Osborne facing up again. What can Simpson do in reply? Down the leg side again. Worked away in the air. One bounce to the sweeper who did well to keep it to a single. Knocked it down after she got there on the bounce. It was well fielded there by Starr. And that's the end of Molly Simpson's first over. And he goes for 7 off her first. And after 13 overs, Toronto Workers District Cricket Club are 4 for 77 after 13 overs.
Apologies, Lucas. Just been trying to drum up some player numbers for the final. Thank you to Steve Garrett from Newcastle City supplying the numbers for City. And we've got Dave Absalom on the hunt for Waratah Mayfield. I've seen some of their players have actually got numbers on their shirts, so we may be able to identify them all by name in the final, which will be on immediately following this plate final. 4 for 77 Toronto. They 101 runs from these final 7 overs. Hamwicks very dominant, well in control of this plate final. Wendy Rogers, her first over, 1 for 9, including that wicket of Seymour. She's bowling helping herself to a second over here. On strike is Osborne, who bowled very well. Very well for that.
Full and straight, didn't give much width away at all, Osborne.
Those 2 overs only went for 2 in the power play.
One was a leg by as well.
1 wide, I think, and 2 off the bowler, but 1 off the bat. But Callan, she's 18 from 19. Field starting to spread a touch. Long on is back on the fence, nearly directly behind that short mid-wicket, who's very straight. Square legs on the fence. Field there for caught behind, but not out.
So it's Cassette Thomas with the gloves on now.
I can say they do a quick changeover for these keepers, don't they?
They do. Laura Knight utilised with ball in hand as well. Callan steps away, works it through the offside. Sharpish single. Ooh. Well backed up there by Simpson actually, after Rogers couldn't quite get a hand to it.
So the run chase is into double figures now, 99 required. 6.2 overs remaining. Rogers, a full bunger there, a short fine leg. A good throw. Ooh, well run. Single taken. No ball called as well, so that'll be 2 runs onto the total. 4 for 81. 2 balls remaining in this over. We'll need to re-bowl that ball, of course. So Rogers now bowling to Rebecca Callan, 19 from 21. Oh, she's hit that well. Then we cleaned up that short mid-wicket. Smoked that for 4 through mid-wicket.
Got to the pitch of the ball, used the feet, and used the pace of the bowling too. Just whipped it away. Very wristily done, but great execution of the shot as well.
Powerful stroke, and Rebecca Cohen now 23 from 22. Thinking better than a run of ball, a third boundary. What's that? Oh, this is the 14. Six, yeah. Well fielded down there on the boundary.
Brilliant arm back into the keeper on the full.
Cut one of the Knight girls.
I think it was Kira out there in the broad brim.
Yep. Well fielded. Jack of all trades, can bat, can bowl. Looks like they keep as well and can field. Ticking every box. 14 overs gone here in this T20 Women's Plate Final. Hamilton Wickham versus Toronto District. Hamilton Wickham batting first, scored 3 for 177. And in reply, after 14 overs, Toronto Workers are 4 for 86. Rebecca Cohen's 24 not out from 23. Crystal Osborne is 9 from 8.
That's your prototypical T20 play now, though. Dan can do all facets of the game. Glenn Maxwell, obviously, the standout. Daniel Sands, another one. Obviously not quite on the level of Maxwell, but
Sean
can
Abbott.
bat, can bowl, can field. Yeah, Sean Abbott's another one. As Callum hooks that away to the deep square sweeper. Only a single there.
Okay, so it's not Rogers, it's that Molly Simpson bowling.
It is, yes.
Oh, okay, is that her first?
She's bowled one already.
Oh, she bowled, that was the over I missed when I was
Yeah, correct.
fiddling around there trying to get stuff ready for the next game. Apologies.
No, that's all right, mate. So at the beginning of her second over, her first over went for 7. Straight a little bit in length. Simpson seemed to drag a few short. And on cue, there's another one, but may only get 1 for it.
Oh, great dive and well backed up.
Yeah.
Well backed up there by number 5 there, West. Evie West, the opening bowler. Just that match awareness, as Lucas mentioned earlier this afternoon. Just in the game, every ball.
He could have easily
Saved a couple there.
Could have easily taken the eye off as Laura Knight went to dive, but couldn't quite get all of her body behind it. But West didn't give up on the play. Simpson again short. Callan
well.
drags it through.
Up there's a
straight
fielder
mid-wicket.
out there. They've got their fielding set to those hitting areas. Deep line, deep square.
And they're bowling to the plan as well.
Exactly.
Even though Simpson's bowling a little bit short, you've got a sweeper, deep square. You've got the mid-wicket in play there. You've got a fine leg. So Simpson, 4 this time, off the pads, well down the leg side.
No, not sure what they were appealing for. Bingo, maybe.
Yeah.
With foot down, leg side. Not out. So Molly Simpson, 3 balls down this over, a single the first 3 balls of this over.
Same again.
Interesting running there. There's going to be an overthrow if they're ready for it, but they're not. Good effort there by Simpson to throw it back down the stumps. It was a bit off target, but that is they sprinted through to get that single. It was a very risky single.
It was well fielded there and backed up as a result by Laura Knipe as well to prevent the overthrow.
4 for 90. 1 ball remaining in this 15th over. We're definitely going to get plenty of cricket under lights tonight.
Callan charged and got a thick edge as the width almost was too good for her then in the end as Knight hurls it back to the bowler's end. Only a single off that delivery. Last ball of the 15th over. Toronto are 4 for 90. Nice shot there. Feet to the pitch of the ball. Whipped through a wide mid-on. Did Osborne. As she moves on to 11. She's 11 not out of 12. Callan, is 27 off 26. And after 15 overs, 5 overs to go here, 30 legal deliveries. Toronto Workers District Cricket Club are 4 for 93.
I think Rebecca Cowan's leaving the field.
That looks to be the case.
Yeah, Rebecca Cowan's leaving the field. She looks like she maybe have a slight limp. She may be injured. So I think Rebecca Cowan's retired hurt here. Yeah, she's definitely leaving the field. And next batsman's going to square legs, so new batsman's on strike. We'll just have to wait for things to update here. But the end of 15 overs, Toronto Workers are 4 for 93, and Rebecca Cohen, who was 27 not out off 26 balls, has left the field. We believe she's retired hurt. So this could be very interesting. Could play havoc with the live scoring. We'll do the best we can. We just hope Rebecca's okay. So Laura Knipe is bowling once again. Osborne, I think that's Crystal Osborne on strike, because they would have, just guessing at present to be honest.
Just updated there, Jolly to the crease now.
Kelly Jolly, but is she on strike? That's
No.
a nice stroke. So it is Osborne on strike. That ball's been hit out to the fence for 4, a nice stroke. Great piece of cricket there by Toronto. We think that was Crystal Osborne who's hit Knipe, which is a bit of payback where it was Knipe hitting Osborne in the later overs. So Osborne 15 at a run of ball, 2 boundaries. Kelly Jolly, the new striker, or non-striker, new batswoman at the crease. Oh, I think Dave's gone to do it. Laura Knight now into Osborne. It's that straight back down to the wicket to the bowler. No run.
So Knight back into her work. Has bowled well. Has done all facets of the game well, really. Batted well, kept well, bowled well and fielded well. So all over the place in a good way here, Laura Knight. Back of her length. Forced through the offside, found the gap.
That's a nice stroke.
Simpson in pursuit, but the ball is going to get to the boundary. Nice shot off the back foot there.
Runs in the covers all afternoon so far, and I hope City and Waratah have been looking at this. And they'll have the extra fielders out there. They've got the full complement, 11 aside. Just wonder if the field stays the same side or whether it may be expanded.
It's been good. Unlike the last few times too, Dan, the covers shouldn't be required for the rest of the afternoon either.
No, put them away. Just one run there to the total, well fielded there. It's a bit of a fall as she went to get that ball. Fielder there at mid-on. Lost the legs. Last ball, the 16th over. And, Toronto Workers, 4 for 102 after 16. Their run rate, they're upwards of 6 and over, but again, 76 required from 4. It's what, 18 and a half, 19 and over. I think it's fair to say that the game's probably beyond Toronto at this stage. Change of bowler here. It looks like Takara Stolt. She'll be bowling her first over of the innings. Windmill action there, shows the old Tomo. It's one run there.
Just the single, inside edge, down to the sweeper. Stock into the attack.
So it looks like this is Jolly on strike now. She'll be facing her first ball.
Ooh.
Nice shot there to cover. It's a dangerous run here.
Oh,
Oh, looks like
bat was dropped. Maybe the wrong end with a throw for Simpson as Jolly sort of laboured, hesitated as Osborne had called her through, but nonetheless.
She actually dropped a bat on a toe, so she's limping there. It's never nice. Cop one on the big toe, whether it's a Sanchez crusher or your own bat.
Bat, yeah.
But
Self-inflicted. Well fielded out there in the end.
See, I missed the umpire there. Did he call no ball there? Because it was quite full. No, he's let that one go.
It was West out there on the deep square boundary, keeping it to a single.
Deep long on, deep square leg, fine leg, all on the fence on this leg side. The bowling there by Stolt, bowling to a field, keeping it just to 1. So stay tuned. Following this match, we'll have the final of the Women's T20, the Cup, the main event of the afternoon, if you will, between Newcastle City and Waratah Mayfield. Waratah Mayfield in their 4th consecutive grand final. They'll be looking to finally shed the bridesmaid tag and win their first women's premiership. Newcastle City, they won the first 2 years. Beat Waratah Mayfield, consecutive finals. Wests were last year's winners of the Women's T20 Cup. Newcastle City v Waratah Mayfield. Be getting underway in about, well, we've got 3 overs left here plus change, so we're probably looking at about 15 to 20 minutes. The live stream link is up on the NDCA live stream on YouTube. Also see it on the Cricket Newcastle News and Views Facebook page, NDCA Facebook page as well. 17 overs completed, and Toronto workers are 4 for 107. Crystal Osborne, he snuck away to 23 not out from 21. He's had a good all-round game, did really well with the ball. And Kelly Jolly is, 2 not out from 3 deliveries.
Laura Knipe to continue from the northern end.
Okay, it looks like Kelly Jolly will be on strike. See the ponytail. Down the leg side.
Well kept as well there by Thomas to negate any buys. Oh, with the number, yeah. Bunted out there, just in preparation for the following game as well. Many things going up into a commentary box, as it so often is. Knipe in again, Laura, back over length, straight. Didn't allow Jolly to free her arms, just bunts it back to the bowler for no run. This is what they've done so well, bowled to a plan. Rogers has set the field accordingly and have never really let Toronto get going.
Look, they've been, been behind the 8 ball from the start. That was a massive total that Hamwicks scored batting first, 177, nearly 9 runs and over. A fantastic 159 run opening partnership really set the table for Hamilton Wickham. They've bowled well, they've fielded exceptionally well. And just going through the motions now with 2.5 overs remaining in this fixture. Looks like there's going to be a boundary. Edge away where the slips would have been. 4 more there to Crystal Osborne. Takes along to 27. And she's probably been the best, her and Raya Chowdhury, for Toronto in this. What's going to be a runner-up effort here against Hamilton Wickham.
Yeah, Callan as well played a supporting cast, but unfortunately, as we spoke about before, went off injured by the looks of it.
Yeah, I hope she's okay. She looked like she was limping, so I don't know whether she's maybe a hamstring or a calf, or they had a pre-existing injury. Who knows? Hope she's okay. So Laura Knipe, 2.2 overs, no wicket for 14. Should be 2.3 overs. What's going on there? Just waiting for that to update. Knipe to Osborne. She's got a fair bit of that, but there's a sweeper out there on the deep mid-wicket boundary. I'll keep that to 1. Osborne along to 28, total along to 112.
Kieran Knipe out there. No, correction, that's not. Excuse me.
Kieran Knipe taken none for 7 from her 2 overs. Laura Knipe, no wicket for 18. A couple of balls remaining in her 3rd over.
Shy of the stumps there. And took on the arm of the keeper there in Thomas and scampered their way home as Jolly gets back on strike.
I'll tell you, the judges are going to have a very interesting selection dilemma of who's going to be the player of the match in this plate final. There's been a number of exceptional performances from both teams.
You know, was it Laura Knipe, 64 of 46, Kieran Knipe, 74 of 64. And looking at the bowling there as well, could that very much decide it? Who knows?
She's also only
Neither, no.
2 overs remaining here. Start of the 19th over. Toronto Workers 4 for 115. They need 63 runs in the final 2 overs. So it's going to be a very exciting couple of overs if they can get there.
It's going to the boundary as well.
Well, there's 4. That's a good start to the over for Toronto.
4 wides.
It's wide, so it's actually 5 off Evie West's. Well, it's not even the first ball. So there's an extra 5 runs straight onto the total. 4 for 121.
There is,
57 runs, 12 balls remaining. It's a big ask, especially with Chowder, Ryder, Smith, Osborne, but she's batting really well. Jolly on strike. Callan with 27, not from 26. So 2 overs remaining in this plate final. Hamilton Wickham versus Toronto. Evie West, the first 2 overs, 1 for 6. And straight away there were 5 wide. So comes again.
Sliced over third.
Yeah, they'll come back for 2 surely. No, they've taken 1 and
No.
so that's all they're happy with. So interesting. 4 for 122 or 4 for 121. Apologies. It should be 122. Yeah, it is. 10 balls remaining in this Toronto innings. Evie West coming in to bowl now. Osborne's swing and a miss. Evie West coming in again to bowl from the Market Town end, bowling to Osborne. Played that away there to point. It's gone straight to Molly Simpson. There is no run there. You do not take a run on that arm, nor have they.
Yeah, they've put up a good fight though. 4 for 122 is where we were probably thinking par may be.
Well,
in
we
the
said
first
anything
innings.
over 120 would be a very good total. Then we said 140 is probably a winning total. And Osborne's nicked off. Evie West taking her 2nd wicket, bowling in that corridor. No, I've given up trying to work out who the keeper is because it's been a different one every over.
I think it's Cassette Thomas there at the moment. Thank you, David. As we'll let Dan prepare for the next game. So Osborne, after playing a decent innings, nicks off. West finishing off her spell on a high note. And a wicket in her first over, a wicket in her fourth, excuse me. And Toronto now 5 for 122. So West in to the new batter in Megan Feely. Gets through the keeper Thomas. This time it will go to the fence for 4. 4 byes signals the umpire. As Toronto's score continues to go up, but it'll be a little bit too short as Hamwicks, particularly off that base that was set up by Laura and Kira Knipe, will see them win a division, the plate division premiership here in the women's T20 competition. It's been a dominant performance this afternoon. Now be Kira Knipe, I believe, to bowl a final over. It might be Laura Knipe, excuse me, in 10 as it's bunted out to long on. And they're coming back for 2 on the arm. Could be close to a run out. It was good running in the end. Feely did well to get back to the danger end at the non-strikers to beat out the throw. Yeah, here's Laura Knipe in 10, bowling her last over. Second ball, back of a length. Tried to pull it across the line. No real foot movement there, and it goes through to Thomas for a dot ball. Laura Knight bowling her 4th over. She's gone for 25. No wickets to her name yet. Down the leg side. And capped for no run. And we'll go through the batting and bowling cards.
Cass.
Okay, I'll have a look. Down.
So 3 balls remaining in this T20 plate final. Laura Knight bowling. Megan Feely now on strike. 5 for 129. It's been a convincing victory here by Hamilton Wickham. Toronto, 2 balls remaining in their innings. A good honest run chase, 5 for 129. They lost Rebecca Cowan, retired hurt for 27 midway through the innings, which did hurt their run chase. Umpires let that go, it's an off stump, a dot ball. 1 ball remaining, but Lucas Holmes, I guess we summarise, I guess that this second game will probably get going pretty quickly straight after. Hamilton Wickham, as you said earlier, they did all the 1%ers right. A dominant display with the bat, a great effort with the ball, and their fielding has been, top class.
Yeah, of course. The Knights did well, as that was a very tight run there, and they're going to take one on the overthrow if Simpson can't help it. And there's going to be a run out in the end, though, as Simpson's throw ended up with the bowler, who did his best Shane Warne impersonation from a few years ago at the non-strikers and at the Adelaide Oval, and 10-pin bowled the stumps down from a couple of metres away there on the overthrow. But as you said, Dan, just to wrap up your point very quickly, a dominant performance. Yes, the Knight sisters did the damage at the top of their order in their batting innings, but a team bowling performance. Their fielding was superb, and ultimately, Toronto, although they had a couple of key contributions, couldn't quite string it together throughout the 40-over allotment for them.
Yeah, well, it's a very successful, a great successful win there by Hamilton Wickham. 6 for 130, the totals ended up. So they've won this T20 Women's Plate final by 47 runs by our calculations. A fantastic effort. Well done to Hamilton Wickham. All on the back of a fantastic 159-run opening partnership between Laura Knight, who scored 64 from 46, and Kira Knight, who scored 74 from 64. For Toronto, Emma Rowe Chatterai, 35 runs from 38 with 5 boundaries, complemented her 2 for 30 from 4 overs in a great all-round performance. Rebecca Cowan, 27 from 26 for 3 boundaries, had to retire hurt. Crystal Osborne, 27 from 27 with 4 boundaries. She also bowled quite well for her team, taking 1 for 11 from 3 overs. But in summary, Hamilton Wickham have won the Women's T20 Plate final. They've won by 47 runs. Dan Saunders with Lucas Holmes. We'll be back shortly. The second game of this afternoon here at Number 1 Sports Ground will commence very shortly. The live stream link is up on YouTube. It's a separate link to this one, so you'll need to log out of this one and go to the Newcastle City versus Waratah Mayfield link. It's also on the Newcastle Cricket News and Views, or Cricket Newcastle News and Views page. But well done to Hamilton Wickham. They are this year's 2022-2023 Women's T20 Plate champions. Dan Saunders, Lucas Holmes signing off. We'll see us for the Women's Cup final up very shortly.